Hello and what's going on? My name is Lauren, and for most of you, it will be the first time you hear my voice. And I'm going over the BBL Season 4-A League drafts, and it's an open discussion, so if people want to join, they are free to do so. So Phil might hop on later, hopefully Pat, but Pat will be definitely there for a replay review, one point or another. There's also B League. I will not cover B League in today because, as you can see, it's getting late here, and therefore I can't really do both leagues when I go over every team. So if there's a team people want to talk about when they join, I will start with that team. But for now, yeah, so you can see we have the players Levi, KK, Isaac, and Connor in the Charizard division. And the Blastoise division, we have the Patrick, we have Frank, we have John F. and John R. And then in the Pikachu division, we Pikachu, German pronunciation. Uh, we have James F., Zoe, Wayne, and Michael. And in the Eevee division, we have Phil, Tim, Jackie, and the superior German, me. I bet Patrick will hate me for this one, or whatever. Yeah, you will just jump in here and see if someone writes something, if they join or not, whatever. So, as you can see, here's the draft order. So checking in the first pick, then Phil, Zoe, Pat, Michael, John, Wayne, KK, Connor, Isaac, myself, Frank, John Ross, Tim, James, and then Levi as the last one. It's a snake draft, so, right? Easy as that. And I will just start with a random chosen team because I won't start with my own one, obviously. That would sound arrogant. Oh, that's alright. Whose stuff do you like best? Ah, that's a good question, right? How then? I'm on Discord. I feel like the highlights who we point out has the strongest, weakest teams. I would agree. Oh, yeah. And maybe I can get Pat to join. I just annoy him. Join. I'm quite sure Patrick is the guy who knows the most about me. So that's actually we don't face off in the regular season because as you can see you don't face everyone. And so therefore you don't we don't face it. Discord. I'm on Discord, right? Yeah, I'm here. BBL. And so I think through. Nice. So we have I can't remember Wayne. Wayne joins later. And so Wayne's team, I will discuss Wayne's team with Wayne himself. So it's this one right here. So that one will be left. That one, Phil maybe with Phil himself. With Pat joins, I will do Pat's team with Pat. So I will start with Levy's team, the Kinglers, Kingston Kinglers. And so what I'm going to do is I will just go over everyone in single view, right? So how strong is the more Pokemon individually, in my opinion, in a draft league? And then I will look at the combination. So Scissor, for example, being a tier 1 and his first tier 1 pick, quite interesting because Scissor usually isn't the one that is grabbed early on because it's mainly used for physical power because it can't go special. It can be pretty bulky, but then you would go like Mega Scissor more often than not. But I like the idea because it's still a strong one. So the bullet punch will always hurt. You can go band, you can go some weird set, you can just go normal scissor curse, which Mega Scissor is abusing right now. So you have a nice default setup from the get-go because scissor usually gets default off, right? So then we have Mega Gardevoir, and this is one of the best picks from most Megas, I think, because it's tier 2, it gives 40 points, and it's still a good Mega, right? It's not a super bad Mega like some others that mostly weren't drafted, I'm quite sure. And then he has an Infernape. Infernape, maybe one of the best Pokemon in draft leagues in general. Can go physical, special, can go as lead, as cleanup sweeper, setup sweeper. So it has a lot of potential. That's what I'm getting along. Milotic, you always need a bulky water type, so Milotic is just pretty good for that. Mandibuzz, again, the nice defog Pokemon, a dark type, so you can switch into Prankster and into Psychic moves easily, and flying, so you can switch into ground moves easily, which obviously weakness with Infernape. And just a nice wall. It's hard to get by Mandibuzz without raw power. With raw power was what I meant to say. So like you need some pretty hard hitting mons to get by it, or you just try to outstall it with your own toxic and whatever. Rotom, yeah, ghost type, so it's in general it's not useless. Every ghost type has its worth. I'm not sure about Rotom in draft picks because it's just weird. I'm not sure about Rotom in general because especially I think Jolteon or Helios got the same tier, right? So yeah, you like out on the ghost advantage, but Helios and Jolteon are, in my opinion, better because of the superior speed. And speed is something very important in draft leagues to get the advantage in team building already. So a fast Pokemon will always give a team who has only slow Pokemon trouble, no matter the typing, because if it has good coverage, it will always hit hard in the end, right? As I got 50%, maybe the best tier 1 now that Lando is gone for ground type. It's pretty strong ground type, definitely, and a good dragon at the same time because it can, again, go bulky, go sweeper mode, and it's just a hard hitter, no matter what you go. Amoonguss, just a nice grass and poison wall. Also, very good for the toxic spike removal for free. You don't need to defog whatever. Just switch it in, easy. Snorlax. Snorlax is a Pokemon that can be scary. You just have these moments where you forget about the curse set, right? And you think about with 1 second and you notice, oh fuck, I have nothing against it. I just checked if the recording is actually going. And you have to switch your whole plan or whatsoever. Diancie, again, a rock setter, just a fairy type. It's second fairy type actually. A rock type. I might I might be better tier 4 picks for his team specifically, but it's still a good Pokemon in general, right? So it's never useless because there are definitely some Pokemon in tier 4 which are mostly useless. And Miss Mismagius, another nice ghost type, can't go wrong with it. I in general think ghost types are pretty useful because they have spin block, normal type block and fighting type block and packed in one. So they can just do a lot in themselves. So just by that. Miss Meg is obviously not the strongest ghost type, but it's something. It's something. It's better than my ghost type, which is none. Oh no, I have Kefragis, right? Kefragis pretty niche, but I always forget about that one because it feels like it's not the best Pokemon in my team, obviously, and since that I have some other strong Pokemon, I often forget about that I actually drafted that one. So let's talk about the synergies on the team, right? So you have nice typical bulky wards, and you have grass fire and the possibility to go grass fire, I think. I don't know, my Infinite is too squishy for it, maybe, most likely. Maybe bulky fire type would have been strong in his team. Because then you would go fire, grass, water core, which also pairs well with stuff like Mega Gardevoir, which then can like be a hard wall breaker. But in general, this team is decent. If I see it correctly, there's no rapid spin, and you always want like to try to get both, like defog and rapid spin. It's just useful to have both. You don't always have both, but most of the times, at least what I do is getting both because I feel like, so for example, against Bishop team, you really don't want to defog. But for like Gengar teams, you don't want rapid spin with you, and so you have to make a choice there. But it's a good team. Uh, if there are weak links in this team, I would say since he has 20 points, he can look to upgrade maybe a Pokemon. Like 20 points is not enough to step one tier up mostly because he has no tier 5. But maybe he can downgrade like Diancie or Miss Magius and upgrade the other or upgrade Rotom. If he gets rid of Miss Magius, I would keep Rotom. If he gets rid of Diancie, I might put swap around Rotom and try to get better electric type. If there's one, I will not look at the tier list and what is picked this video because it would take a lot of time. Let me see. Okay. So Levy's team, I would say he's, since I know how he plays, he can be a pretty strong contender on. I know he likes his defensive Pokemon, and you can see it in this draft, right? So Zygarde can be played pretty defensive. Scizor is somewhat bulky. God Omega obviously not, but Milotic, Mandibuzz, Rotom also more of the more or less defensive Pokemon. Amoonguss absolutely. Snorlax is also not the typical kind of but more like of the bulking out people, just sitting there not taking damage. Uh, Diancie usually pretty bulky, and so his team overall, I I really would have loved to see a defensive fire type because then the core of whatever fire type Milotic and the Moongus, you just will hate it. Absolutely hate it. All right, now that the first team is out of our way, we can go ahead and go over to Zoe's draft for now. And as far as I know, or at least that's what she told people, she got sniped. So what she actually wanted was I think he dropped out, the guy who drafted away, Mega, right? Yeah. She wanted the Mega Bomb Snow, a Bomber Snowman, and it was picked away, and no one expected it because it's a shitty Mega. Too many weaknesses, especially to fire. Fire is such a common attacking type. because it covers a lot of strong defensive types. So you kill steel, the strongest defensive type. You hurt grass a lot, which is common in these grass, water, and fire defensive cores. And so you have like also very strong moves. So flamethrower is a strong move, fire blast is a strong move, right? It's not like special rock move type moves who are mostly bad or okay-ish at best. Like 80 base power, 100 accuracy, no no upgrade. So nothing on them. Not like flamethrowers 190 and 10% chance to burn because slap everything on there, right? Or is it? No, it's lava plume is 30% burn with 80 base power. So Zoe picked Garchomp. Together Zygarde, the best ground type around now that Lando was banned. Pretty strong first pick, I gotta admit it. This one were way more powerful than the Mamoswine pick in my opinion. If I would have been in like Chagrin and would have wanted the ground type, I would have gotten Garchomp. But maybe she was thinking about, hey, yeah, it's a nice ice type and a nice ground type in the first round. But I like Garchomp way more. Faster, has more versatility. It's just a strong one. Bustle, also again, it's a physical hitter, so we have two very strong physical hitters right here. With Bustle, also again like Garchomp taking a lot of physical hits. Then we have the Empoleon. Empoleon, just a nice water type. It has to learn Steve Rock, it learns Stealth Rocks, it can scald away at people, so it's pretty useful to have. It's one of the better better water types, definitely. Rotom, the second worst Rotom form that isn't base Rotom. Actually might like base Rotom more than the fridge. Just because ice is such a bad defensive type. And Rotom, I mean, you can just swap into every electric attack ever. I don't care about it. Also again, the levitate, so that helps Empoleon. Pretty nice. Then we have Glalie Mega. Glalie, fast physical ice one. Hurts a lot. Hurts actually a lot. Though I just don't think it has the power to be useful in many battles. There are sure absolutely cases where it will be a strong contender, but there's just some teams where it just is completely useless, right? Uh, Breviary. Uh, so I saw the week one replay, and it tanked like a +2 ice beam or whatever it was, right? And I was like, how did that happen? Because it's a tier 4 one, but then I remembered it's not bad, right? In general. It's just not fast and doesn't hit as hard as other birds. So usually you go the other birds. For example, with like see in Wayne's team right now, Honchcrow. Or the Aerodactyl of Jacqueline's roster. Um, and so Braviary, it's a nice bird. It's a bird. That's always an up. Getting the immunity to Earthquake, and I think it has Defog. Most birds have. I'm not sure. Most flying types, actually, but like nearly every bird. Blacephalon, my first round pick in another draft league I did. Insanely strong Pokemon. I just love it. It hurts so much. You really don't want to like ever sleep on it because it will sweep your whole team if you don't watch it carefully. Primarina, I this is something I don't like is Empoleon and Primarina Like I see that they fulfill different roles, but I think there would have been better picks, right? Excuse me 1 second. My lung is dying because of school today. So I think there would have been stronger picks on tier two because Primarina is also just super slow. So you will never ever catch something with the speed. It can hurt a lot, yeah. I think there are other water types in tier two that hurt just as much and are faster, if I remember correctly. So I don't like this Empoleon Primarina combo. Drapion, strong, strong tier three. Another case of these. You pick a poison one, so toxic spikes and toxic switching are already done. You don't have to worry about it. Dark is also nice, so you have a psychic switching and the prankster switching. So yeah, you always have these some of these types that I think are good in general. So while I personally I'm quite sure I don't have a so I actually have a toxic one, right? But I don't have one of these combos, if I remember correctly. These good typing combos for draft leagues. You still have. It's a good mon, just in general, in my opinion. Again, the only thing that holds it back, I think, is so. First of all, if I remember correctly, it doesn't get pursued. Pursued would up it a lot. Pursued is a really strong move, and it's just again a slow Pokemon. And you really, when it comes to the trade-offs, it's not bulky enough to be that slow. So it's the payoff isn't there. If it would be more bulky, obviously it would be way stronger. So for example, Basshole is also stronger than it, even though it's also slow Pokemon, just because it takes so many physical hits and has such an insane attack and a great ability. I don't even know Drapion's ability, so maybe it's also good, but I'm quite sure it's not. Alola Raichu. I feel like this is one of these. Oh, someone picked Tapu Koko, which in every draft league will be done. Oh, I have my perfect Pokemon against his already. So, and I'm the Tapu Koko guy this season. So let's let me put it that way. I think Alola Raichu. It's it has its niche, but it excels against the team with the Tapu Koko as enemy because you just abuse the opponent's field. And yeah, but it's a psychic type and an electric type that's fast and can hurt a little to a little much. It's not it doesn't hurt enough. That's what I'm trying to get across. It's painful, but it's not like painful. I suck at English. Quick realization. Linoon. Wait, which Pokemon is that? Linoon. That's actually me not knowing what Linoon is. I accept. Uh oh right, it's that one. Oh yeah, yeah. So the most common set I know is the Gluttony set. It's also the only set I know from random battles. Oh, the extreme speed Gluttony with the Barry and Belly Drum. Think is the thing I remember. Like a Shadow Claw, and I don't even know the fourth move. That's it's not a. If you don't remember a full move set of a random battle Pokemon because you never saw it somewhere else, doesn't speak well for the Pokemon. Is what I'm trying to get across. it has its potential to full sweep a team, right? So if you don't watch it, and it gets the free belly drum and the berry here, and you don't have a switch in to survive the belly drum, extreme speed or whatever, throwing it away, you will be in the land of pain. But that's a lot of if you don't have, right? I still see a case for it, but I think it's not worth the tier 3 spot. I say this knowing that Zoe will most likely like burn me alive after she watches this video, if she even does. But whatever. So, in general, I talked already about some synergies like the Primarina and the Empoleon thing is not to my liking. But in general, I think the draft is otherwise pretty good. It's a nice team definitely. You could get some solid wins with it. And so yeah, I think if for the two teams I watched, I think they are both pretty equal. They have I think there are some stronger cases to be made for Levi. Some matchups, and there are definitely some matchups stronger favorite for Zoe. I would have to watch both teams closely to see which team is my. I would pick if I had to choose one of those two, right? All right. Let's hope someone hops in here and wants a specific team, because otherwise I will just keep going with the teams I like talking about right now. Let's take. Let me see. Let's take Michael's team, maybe? Yeah, sure. Hedron, pretty good pick. Just enabled so much because you can scarf it. I saw choice specs sometimes. Mostly you use it as a stealth rock setter, toxic, raw, and whatever. So it can also do that one. So it's a good tier one definitely. Good pick. Alola Muck. Percy Trapper. Again, one of these great dual typings with poison and dark. Same problem as Drapion, it's slow, but it has the pursuit. It has a good ability with poison touch, because the chance to poison a Pokemon can be very annoying. Let's say you switch something into its knockoff. Let's say it used knockoff because the pursuit would never kill and it wants to get rid of an item. And then you just randomly get poisoned on your bulky water type. Right? That just sucks. Then you have Diggersby though, which has a strong potential to set up sweep. I saw choice band mostly, I think, but it hurts. It hurts. Earthquake, Quick Attack, and then like I think it learns Wild Charge or whatever it was. And then you have the does it even have Quick Attack or Extreme Speed? I think it was Quick Attack. This is how uneducated about some Pokemon, by the way. So I don't do my research on every Pokemon. And you have the obvious thing that Diggersby just can revenge kill a lot with the priority move. Good Pokemon. Necrozma, uh, it learns Stealth Rocks, right? It does this Calm Mind thing, where even if you counter Calm Mind, he just uses the super powerful Psychic attack that just keeps adding up its damage for stacks. So that's something. It also has a good ability, maybe even one of the top three abilities, in my opinion, that are available in the OU format, OU or below. Pretty nice for its tier, definitely. It's a good tier 3. And so I kind of like it. Noivern, Noivern is more of a tier 4 Pokemon for me. It's fast, but it has so low special attack. And like if you try revenge kill something, there are rumors you heal the enemy. So I think it's more of a tier 4 pick, but I see some use of it. So like for example, you just do the item swap thing with a choice scarf or whatever, and your opponent is locked in earthquake and will be mad, or sword dance if you want to put it even worse. Helios, I talked about that a little bit earlier. I think it's pretty good electric type for that tier because it's fast and it has Volt Switch. Volt Switch is also something very nice, just to keep the switch advantage unless you run into a ground type. Togekiss, the flinch god of tier 2. It's slow. Its special defense is impressive, but it's so slow. It's so slow. I'm not sure if I like it or not, because I see cases for it to be made, especially if like it comes down that the opponent has only slow Pokemon left. It shines. But in the case it's the slowest Pokemon on the field, it's kinda weird to use it. So I see a case to be made for it. Don't worry. I see some strong cases to be made for it, but I see also some cases where it's just never going to do anything. Mega Gallade, the faster but less hurting version of the both Mega fighting Psychics. If I remember correctly, Mega Gallade was for some time even more used than Mega Medicham. I'm not sure if it's there right now. It has Shadow Sneak. It's great priority move. It has the high jump kick, the Zen Headbutt, can also sword stand setup, which is really strong. So it's good. It's a good Mega, definitely. I'm not sure how well it pairs with the rest of the team, but so far it looks decent. It actually looks pretty strong in his team. By the way, I see something very funny here. It's like slow Pokemon, slow Pokemon, slow Pokemon, this kind of slow Pokemon, and then it's like super fast, slow Pokemon, kind of fast. See, it's as if he was like, oh, I need a faster Pokemon. Let me draft one. Ah, I can go with less speed now. Oh, I need a fast Pokemon again. Looks great. Ah, Gallade. Omastar. I don't know about it. What was Omastar again? Sorry guys. I'm the worst. No prep involved. Oh right. Yeah, Amaros is the German name. But even that I wouldn't have known because I never see it. It's literally zero. Hi, he learns Swiftsum as ability. Oh, it's a nice ability. Um, yeah, I think it learns Stealth Rocks because it's a rock type, and I know some of these weird rock types learn Stealth Rocks. Most likely learns Scored. It, I think it has Shell Smash, which is pretty good. But it's one of the weaker Shell Smash users. It's no Cloyster, for example, which we see over here in the team I face week 2. I win against week 2, I should say. Luckily, Phil is not here right now. Murkrow, it's a bird. It's a good bird. I like it. It, it can take a lot of hits, as we saw in week 1 replays. It learned something like Feathery Dance, which lowers the attack by 2 stages, I think even. A pretty good move for like these defensive flying types, which most people don't use. Dodrio. Dodrio's super fast. I just realized it. I saw it, and it's insane in speed. But keeping 40 points, mate, you could have gotten another tier 3, I think. Yeah. Maybe there's a nice tier 3 for. You could look around for one. Upgrade like a tier 2 to a tier 1, I think, even. Yeah. But overall, it's a solid. Pretty solid. Yeah. So, do you have a Dragon actually? Let me check. Yeah, you have Neuron, but that's not bulky. You have Togekiss, which is bulky, Heatran, which is bulky. So, bulky Dragon would be also a fun matchup. No, not fun at all, but fun matchup. Um, all right, so we are good to go to. Let's see. I will just do Pat's team because I little background story. I wasn't sure if I have time for another draft league because I'm already in one and I have school like 10 hours a day right now. And then I saw Pat signs up in one, and I was like, huh, I gotta mess with Pat once every time, every few months, right? I gotta annoy him once every good days. All good days I have to annoy him, so he doesn't have good days anymore. I love Pat, by the way. Actually, amazing person. And so I was like, all right, let me join too. And then we talked a little bit of what we want to draft, and so I influenced his draft a little too. So we talked a lot about our drafts. He helped me with mine, I helped him with his, and so I'm obviously a little biased here. But I think Zeraora with Tapu Koko, maybe the best first round picks around in a draft league where there's no Lando. I know Tapu Koko is strong even if Lando is around. And without Lando, it just gets stronger. The same with Zeraora. So I like it a lot. It's super fast, hurts like a truck. Its move pool is weird for me because I haven't played around with it that much. But definitely a good Pokemon for first round pick. Gengar, the typical I annoy the ass out of you ghost type. I think everyone knows how strong Gengar can be. Hurts a lot. Hippowdon, weather control. And that's something that like most teams don't have, right? So that's why weather teams get amplified in draft leagues. Weather teams get stronger in draft leagues because it's harder to deal with them because you don't have just free pick on a weather setter. But it's pretty good. It's a pretty good weather setter. And also it synergizes with the Stoutland down here. Synergizes, obviously not insanely, but it's fun. Minshao, he asked me for a fighting type that's good for its tier. Minshao is definitely tier 3 worthy, even tier 2 worthy in some cases. I used it when a draft league where you have to assign your Zmon, and Minshao does that pretty well because it can do everything. See all our pummeling, see exit, this downpour, or however it's called. It learns the fake out and U-turn thing. So I used it as counter to Mega Medicham once with the, I think it was any flying attack, the strongest flying attack I could find learns. So it's fun to use. I like it a lot. Um, Mega Absol, one of the most scary megas for Tier 3 Mega, because it gets like with one, if it ever gets one Swordslands off, it has like 798 attack and 383 speed or something like that. So, and then with Sucker Punch and Play Rough and Superpower and Knockoff and whatever, right? So, scary sweeper. Slowking, the most defensive water type for special. Just sits there like, oh yeah, no, it's a special attack. I'm fine. Whatever. It's super effective. I don't care. But physical attacks just obliterated. Especially like physical, super effective moves. It really struggles against these. But obviously don't keep them in. Tornadoes, also another strong pick for a draft league. Because it's just so versatile, it can do so many things. Ferrothorn, basically the thing that made grass seem like a good defensive type for me when I first started, because Ferrothorn just it just stands there. It takes hits after hits after hits, and so it's good. It also has access to spikes and stealth rocks, which is also nice. You have Stoutland, the the one normal type that gets scrappy that still sucks with it because it already got crunch as a strong dark type move, right? I'm not sure about Stoutland. I see the pick because he has Hippowdon, and that's also why he picked it. But I'm in no liking of it. I was never liking it actually. And then we have the Entei, good fire type. I'm actually getting called right now from a few friends of mine, but I really don't want to join them right now because I don't know where they're calling. Then we have Entei. Entei, strong one. Definitely a strong fire type. Takes a lot of hits. Ugh. Takes a lot of hits actually. And it has extreme speed, which is a nice move. It's very similar to Arcanine, which I have, and I think it's just a stronger attacker than Arcanine. Arcanine obviously better bulk with the heal and whatever, but Entei is pretty good. Smeargle, I remember this scene. He was like, "Oh, I don't know what tier 5 I should pick." And I'm like, "Oh, you could take one of the silver leagues, right? You always can just slap one of them in your team." And he was like, "Oh, I have Smeargle now." And I'm like, "Well, how did that happen?" You just picked Smeargle. Yeah, overall, Pat, it's a good team. It's a pretty strong team. And the thing I fear the most is that I know that Pat is insanely good as a player. I actually like fear him as a player. It's one of the few guys I fear to face because he always seems like, even if you like have killed 5 months of his, right, and you have all six, it still feels like Pat has the upper hand. It's super weird because he's just using every mon so well in these especially in these draft leagues. So huge respect for him, and it's a pretty strong team too. Because like draft leagues work different than OU ladder, right? OU ladder you always have the same teams that pop up because they just work well against whatever slapped together team. But in draft leagues, since you can prep for specific teams, you can also counter the strongest combinations of the enemy team. So Pokemon that are standalone strong just become stronger, and strong synergies that are hard to prep for are becoming stronger. But strong synergies that are easy to prep for just fall off completely, fall on the face. And some like setup supers just fall flat too. The prime example is like Cloyster can be easily prepped for in most cases. All right. Let me ask someone wanna join now. I don't know how it's written. I write it like that now. Someone wanna join now? I had a few teams. Let's make the sad emoji. Maybe someone wanna join then. Feeling bad for me. It's a psychology voice. You have to get in their minds. Being like, oh, this poor guy, he's all alone doing the draft summary video. This stupid German who's still the superior German, obviously. Because look at it, I'm clearly more superior. Listen to my voice. Wait, which team is it? Michael. Did I go over Michael's team already? Oh yeah, I did. I did. Lucky for me. Maybe this gives him little like, oh, maybe I can join. I covered his team already. I know, I know nothing. I had to Google Pokemon. I had to Google. I mean, you can't get worse than that. All right. That happened. Sorry, but I find it funny that people think like, oh, I have to know so much to get my Sweden. No, you don't. You don't. That way, I deactivated the streamer mode because this way I will actually hear if someone joins now. All right. So we need to cover Jacqueline and Phil and the John, Wayne, KK, Craig, Isaac, myself, Frank, the other John, Tim, and James. And I think I just go with Jacqueline now. So she had the first pick in the first round, and I think she picked Mega Beedrill, right? And that already blew me off because if I remember correctly at least, she picked Mega Beedrill first round, which blows my mind. It's not even the tier 1. People usually be like, oh, I have to get the best tier 1 possible, right? Jacqueline be like, nah, fuck all you haters. I'm just going to get my tier 2 Mega. And it's a strong Mega, don't get me wrong. It's a strong Mega. But that was a hard grab for it. I wonder if she regrets that decision already, or if she will regret it at one point. But let's go over the rest of her team now. So Mamoswine, I already talked a little. It has Stealth Rocks. It has the possibility to be banned. Or Life Orb sometimes I saw for specific enemy teams as preparation. You go Life Orb and some weird ass move set just to have the perfect one shot on the most scary ones. It's super awkward. Mega Beedra, I just said, it threw me off completely, but it's a good mega. Alakazam is just overall I like Alakazam because you always get your revenge kill unless you use it totally wrong. But most people that take Alakazam know how to use Alakazam, so it amplifies itself like that. Aerodactyl, it's another rock setter. Don't know if it gets defucked, but it should. It has some strong physical moves with a good physical attack. It lacks the flying coverage, which also makes Mega Aerodactyl, for example, worse than it could be. But I think in general it's an okay Pokemon, definitely. It's definitely decent. Cresselia is something a little story. First time I faced Cresselia ever, I didn't know how tanky it is. I looked at it and be like, oh, nice, a psychic type, right? Let me just one shot it real quick with my knockout. Wait a second, it doesn't die. And it never dies. And it gets like Trick Room and like can heal itself, has Calm Mind setup, Moonblast, Psychic. What the hell is this Pokemon? It's so annoying. It's not even like it's unkillable, but it's annoying as fuck. It's crazy annoying. I like the pick. I definitely like the pick. That's what I'm trying to get across here. Jolteon, super fast, has Volt Absorb, which in itself I would say is like having a ground type in your team, just with a little up. But since Lando is gone, which is the strongest ground type, obviously, it just gets so much powerful, right? You still always have a ground one, but somehow this one ground type just oppresses because the team that has it is always doing great. I feel like because it's so versatile. Bishop, nice tier one, strong tier one. Alalomola, the bulky water type. Uh, Every team has one, I think, because it's just good to have a bulky water type. Beware the teddy bear. Uh, I said that one. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't know even it's tier three because I don't know how strong it is because I've never seen it in like an actual fight. I saw it in random battles and that gets smacked around most of the times because it's too slow. But maybe she can use it like insanely good. Maybe she just likes using it. It's the same like Mega Medicham isn't the fastest Mega, right? But I like it so much that I used it to such a great success in not even draft leagues, but in other formats of Pokemon battles. And people know me because I smack them with Mega Medicham sometimes. It's hilarious. Espeon. I had Espeon in another draft league. I like it. It's a strong Pokemon. Magic Bounce is, in my opinion, easily the strongest ability available in OU and below. It's just crazy strong. I I love it. And it's a fast, hard-hitting psychic type. What else can I say, right? It's just good. Ariadas. This is one of these cases where you're like, all right, I have Staff Rocks, yeah. I mean, I could use the spikes or sticky web or something. Oh wait, this is my last pick. I guess I gotta go with a shitty one, right? What's up there? Oh, it's Ariadas. Let me just take Ariadas and hope it works out. That's how I feel about it. Um, I don't see her ever bringing it, but at least she picked it. At least she picked it. Gotta admit. Yeah, overall, I like her team also. it doesn't have one of these obvious cores, right? Like the grass, fire, water, which I talked about already, which I think are always nice to have because they are obviously they are used in ladder for a reason. They are strong cores. And same goes for Dragonsteel Ferry. She also doesn't have that one if I see it right. But she has overall she's still a nice team. I just think that their the potential there was more potential because like a team with Mega Beedrill needs strong wards, and I feel like the two strong wards I see right now are Alalomola and Cresselia, and I'm not sure if that is enough, right? Because Beedrill excels in teams that are hard to take down because it just always like if it takes out one or two mons that annoy your wards, it's done. Uh, Nothing for you to do. All right. So let's see. It's the strongest and the weakest team. The strongest team, obviously me. Obviously you. I gotta mess around with Phil. I like Phil. Phil is a really nice guy. I know him for like 2 years now soon. Remember meeting him first? But he has, since I live in Germany, I can't really keep contact with everyone as much as I would like. All right. Since no one is joining, I guess I will just go on my own team now. And so I hope it's okay for me to say so, but I have no idea how Tapu Koko got all the way from here to here without being picked. Like, and I said it, in a matter where no Lando is around, Tapu Koko just gets that much better. Fast electric type, which can go physical and special, hurts like a truck because of the electric terrain. Has U-turn and road switch. I like it. Then I took Kalucha for Kokalucha, and I'm allowed to use it. So in the rules it says it's not allowed, but since it wasn't in the rules until after I picked Kokalucha, and so I wasn't aware of it, I'm allowed to use Kokalucha with Electric Seed. So this will probably get to use at least sometimes because obviously it's just a good combo, right? All right, then I have Crocodile. Crocodile is a good ground type in my opinion because it has Intimidate and Moxie, and so it can go as a wall or a sweeper. It has the Pursuit, which I already talked about. Pursuit is just a nice move to have. It gets the Stealth Rocks, so I like it overall. I think overall it's a good mon. So that's why I took it. Then we have Tentacruel, my bulky water type, and I chose Tentacruel because it gets Rapid Spin, is immune to Toxic, and can set up Toxic Spikes itself. So I like Tentacruel. The only weakness I see in my defensive Pokemon in general is the longevity is super low. Right? All my Pokemon have like no way to recover other than Arcanine. Yeah, but I have Arcanine. Intimidate or Flash Fire, both good abilities, but I think Intimidate is. What the heck is going on? I do draft summaries in Discord and record it ATM. People wanna join. Goddamn Japan, they give me a Phoenix. I have no Phoenix. I'm no human. Well, that is good. Let's go back to draft Siberia. I never read. You never read that. Arcanine. I like it as defensive fire type. I think Intimidate is a little better than Flash Fire. But overall, it gets Flare Blitz, Will-O-Wisp, Toxic, Extreme Speed. Extreme Speed is a very very strong move. Uh, so overall, it has a longevity because it can recover itself. Um, I don't see. Yeah, he's still not here, right? There's actually some truth. Voice chat or the draft summary text? Voice chat. English sucks. All right. I don't know what's wrong with me sometimes. Arcanine, strong Pokemon. In general, I like it as defensive fire type. And then a Shaman, my MVP of week one. Let's say that much. Oh, my dude, what's up?
You're gonna have to give me a minute. I have to plug my phone in.
Oh yeah, don't worry.
Because I just got out of classes, so my phone's about to die.
I literally just go over my team because no one joined, and I was like, all right, let me just. So I did Levy's team first, and I did some other teams, and now I'm like, oh, if no one wanna join, I just do my team now, I guess.
I was interested, like I said, I was finishing up this anime I started yesterday, so.
Don't worry about it.
Sidetracked.
They have also a third person that joined.
Fucking Japan. We have feelings.
I don't have feelings anymore. I am no longer a human being.
I only have feelings when it comes to anime.
Pretty much where it's at.
Yeah, pretty much. The one reason to have feelings is the scene where Ace died in One Piece. Still
spoilers.
Still hurts me. It's no spoilers. It's like 500 episodes ago.
I haven't seen it.
Well, I don't care. So, all right. I was going over my team right now. So Shaman, the week one MVP for my team, as I just said. It's what people often forget about Shaman is like, yeah, Shaman has the same moves as Shaman Sky, which people often don't notice for some reason. And so it's really strong. It's actually really strong. It has maybe actually the best special grass attack because Seed Flare is that stupid. And it's
a small mischance though.
Yeah, but it's still like the chance to drop your special defense is insane, and it's like 2 stages. So
Serene Grace for the win.
Yeah, that's why Sky is so OP.
Air Slash and Seed Flare and just Sweet Tea.
Air Slash, Seed Flare, and you still can go a bulky Shaman, right? It still has 100 in every base that like Mew does.
Oh, dude, just does it get 80 power?
I don't know.
Does it get what?
Because if it gets ancient power, you just build bulky. Just ancient power to get the. You don't need to worry about anything after that.
I don't think it gets. Right now. I don't think it gets it. It would. I wouldn't see a case for it to get it at all. But yeah, it can go the long route. It has also access to Leech Seed and Substitute, which is a nice combo overall. And that's also something I have Tentacruel, Arcanine, and Shaman. It's a pretty good grass, fire, water core. So I have my 3. That's my 3 best walls, I guess. And they work together so good because Tentacruel also just can't get poisoned.
I can count Arcanine as a wall.
Yo, Arcanine is so strong.
Arcanine can be bulky.
It is so bulky.
Bulky, but Dude, just give him like he can also be a physical sweeper.
Yeah, you can.
I would say he's
That's
more of a
that's
mix.
something. That's something like I brought up on other Pokemon, like my Crocodile. Crocodile, for example, has the same thing. You can go Intimidate, right? And you can take some hits. It's not like it can't survive anything. But you can also go
Intimidate,
Moxie and
great.
Sweep with Crocodile. And Crocodile is
Moxie Scarf.
so
Moxie Scarf Crocodile will eat teams for days.
yeah, also it has the pursuit trap. Pursuit trap is also something I talked a lot about in this video for some reason because pursuit trap is just amazing. And yeah,
You could
I think
stab off him
Crocodile's
too.
underrated Pokemon.
so
I
yeah,
think it's
so
a
Ribombee, the tier 4 pick for me. So Ribombee was like, all right, I need a Pokemon that best case has Defog because I have only Tentacruel with Rapid Spin at that point. That if any way possible, I want a Sticky Web user. Maybe some utility move, right? So like whatever, like
well,
Tailwind or
yeah. There's
Memento or
obviously like a
something.
lot of
And
buffs
then
you
and
could
then you have like I came up with Ribombee, and Ribombee has like Tailwind, Defog, and a Sticky Web to its name, and still can go the super fast Moonblast Revenge Kill on like Hydreigon or whatever, right? And
yeah.
so
Bye bye
it's
Hydreigon.
I that's why I like Ribombee. Obviously, it's no match for some other Pokemon. It's like one of these Pokemon that you use in some matches because the sticky web is so strong, but you never expect it to do much because
I
it's
mean,
just such a weak Pokemon in general.
it's fragile.
But I mean,
That's the only downside.
you got webs and you got unburden. You have Coco and Lucha, so you're
Yeah,
basically set there already.
Yeah, you got huge scares between webs and the fact that you
yeah. Then let's get to Halucha, right? I grabbed Halucha second round because when I grabbed it, I didn't know Lucha should have been banned, and so it wasn't banned because
to be honest, I didn't even know that was a thing.
no,
It
I
was briefly talked about, but it was never finalized into things.
yeah, and now it's in the rules as far as I was told, but since I made the pick before it became a rule, I'm still allowed to use it. Then I didn't have
I
a
don't see it.
Mega Latios to begin with. I didn't start with Mega Latios. I had Mega Lopunny. And then I noticed, my team really could use a dragon. And luckily Latios is right? It's one of the strongest dragons. Actually
Mega
confused why
Latios.
it was out there still. Mega Latios has Defog, Roost, a Call Mindset.
Well, not many people use Latios and Latios anymore.
Yeah, but I wonder why, because Latios is like I have done in draft leagues physical and special Latios already. You can always just like if you think, oh, my enemy can always check for my special Latios attacks, then just go Dragon Dance and go physical attacks. It still has a
Oh, see,
very strong physical attack, right?
my personal thing is like I like Mega Latios over Latios because I run a janky set that basically just sweeps everything because there's no Dark Fairy, as far as I remember. As
Uh,
soon as they bring a Dark Fairy out, my Latios set is just fucked. But that's not the point. It Latios with a scarf just could eat teams. He could screw up things like Chansey because you can you trick things. Mega
um,
Oh yeah.
Latios is a great
I've
set. It's just a great sweeper.
Mega Latios, I think, is the reason I picked Mega Latios over regular Latios is just I think if I already don't have a Mega, I can always just take the Mega version of a strong one. Because while Latios has its cases to be made
Oh
with
yeah,
with
Mega
the
Latios
scarf
is
and the stuff, I think Mega Latios fits my team better because I needed a Pokemon that just smacks on with a special attack, right? Because Tapu Koko doesn't have the amazing special attack. It only hurts because of its terrain and its high speed. And
yeah. Got something
So
Coco Amon.
so Latios was like an easy choice for me just to get this insane special attack.
And it's got a really good speed too.
Yeah,
It's
it
got
goes up
speed,
to
it's got
350.
special attack. Personally, I would have went Mega Latios after one combine. You're basically set, especially with that special defense bulk there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Because the reason I say that is because you have Cofragus and Steelix, so you basically have two physical walls right there. You need a special wall.
yeah,
And
though
Mega is bay for special walls.
I like Latios over Latias. I always have done it like that because I'm an hyper offensive player in ladder, right? So I never care about my wards. I just pick wards in draft leagues to have these oh look, I have a wall moments where you just take a wall with you that can stall out the opponent if nothing else works. But usually what I do on ladder, or that's how Pat and I had a lot of matches, right? Pat is the guy that just always goes mixed, balanced, or just full out stall. And I'm the guy that tries to break down his teams with pure power. And
Yeah, see,
that's
that
the two
explains a lot about
spectrums.
your viewpoint.
So
That explains a lot about a lot of what you've been saying now.
So that's why I went Latios over Latias. Latios just has more power to it.
Yeah, I'm looking at it from looking at it from a bulky offensive player's standpoint, which my normal play style, things like Mega Latios are better overall. But if you're hyper offense, Mega Latios can do more in less time.
Right. That's why
And it's
my
not subjective to haze.
yeah. So that's why I went with Latios. I see a case for Latias. Don't get me wrong. It's definitely a strong Pokemon too, but I just prefer
Oh yeah,
Latios.
they're both terrifying.
So Cofragigus, just where we had about it. I I talked about it earlier. No matter which tier, every ghost type has a case to be made. Just because it is immune to two types and a good and like immune to rapid spin. So it's always a nice to have thing, right? And especially when I think about you have right now no one, but Negalopani, for example, there's I think no better Pokemon against Megalopani than Cofragigus. He's just sitting
And
there getting no damage.
No, because Cofagrigus, first of all, Will-O-Wisp cuts Lopides the second half. And
Yeah,
then
also Mummy.
on the first HJK.
Yeah. And you get like
So
50% max or something like that. And
she's just shut
Cofagrigus is
down
fun.
entirely.
Cofagrigus is just a
That's
fun
why I
Pokemon.
wanted it.
Yeah, I took it. I took it because I needed a ghost type that can take a lot of hits. And Cofagrigus does just that.
Oh yeah, he does that job very well.
Absolutely.
Very well.
So Steelix. Steelix was just one of my I could use a steel type moves because I have no steel. I had no steel type. I think steel is the best defensive type, which most people would agree on. But as offensive type, it's not as strong. Its only use is like to take down fairies, for example. And so that's why I don't prioritize strong steel types because I never saw them as important as like a good offensive core. But that's again just coming from the hyper offensive playstyle that I'm used to so much.
I mean, there are some exceptions like Mega Mawile and Margiana.
Metagross, boy.
Gone.
Mega Metagross.
Metagross.
I loved
Mega
it.
Metagross is Uber. He's
Yeah,
banned straight
sadly.
up.
Sadly.
We can't discuss that. As much as I would love to have Mega Metagross for my team, we can't have it.
Bro, I would have taken it like first round, no doubt.
That would have been my way back in the day. He was my main.
Yeah, I used
the only Mega with no negative. Jesus Christ, gets tough claws. Freaking grass knot's affected by tough claws. So they even answer the water.
Yeah,
and ground.
Thunder Punch.
It was insane.
Thunder Punch is immune with the ground type, so you use grass knot.
Obviously, all it.
Coming, so They'll throw like a seismitoad, like a physically defensive seismitoad in, and you just grasp it and kill it straight up.
Well, see, all I heard from you is like, I need something to cover water. I'm like, oh, Thunder Punch, and then you're like, oh, end ground. I'm like, well, shit.
Yeah. As you were saying, I was like, wait, I end ground because I was thinking, wait, Thunder Punch is like, which
Yeah.
like, why was I running grass? Not, yeah, it was ground types as well.
Yeah, but the thing is like, so in general, steel types are more of these Ferrothorn type Pokemon who just switch into an attack,
Even
take one or two or three or four hits, right, and then just over the time just get whittled down slowly, but stand there for ages. They are like,
even Mahjong and Heatran, as offensive as they are both great for swapping.
right. That's what I said when I went over the team that picked Heatran. Heatran is, in my opinion, if Lando would be around, Heatran would be a little weaker. But since Lando is banned, the top two Pokemon I said was Zeraora, because I don't even know how it's spelled in English, but I just go with that one. Um, because I think the fast electric types are already strong in draft leagues because of the Volt Switch and their sweeping potential, because electric is a good offensive type. And Tapu Koko is really far up there because it just takes down so much by itself because of the electric terrain. But definitely Heatran is one of the top contenders too, because the possibility to go Scarf, to go Specs I saw sometimes in the past, or just go like the whatever balloon or whatever you want to go with, the berry, and then the stealth rocks and the toxic and the raw. It's I just can fulfill multiple roles as one Pokemon, and that's something which is good in draft leagues in general. So
Yeah, we
Oh,
saw
you
Scarf
want
week one against Zoe.
yeah, I actually was funny because I understand his salt in the first turn already. Yeah, I would have been salty too. But saying, oh, Scar feature, I haven't seen that in a while. I actually seen that lately more often than I expected, because Scar feature is very underrated sometimes. It
well, most
deals
people
a lot of
expect it to be
damage.
and that thing comes in and just wreck revenge kills.
Alright, and then we have Silvally normal. So my last pick, and I had to take it tier 5. And I respect Silvally as a Pokemon because it learns a lot of moves first of all, so you always like, oh, I need something
Get around it.
that gets a fire. All right, a Silvally, just get it in there. Oh, and I also need an ice beam. Oh yeah, Silvally has that. Oh, and something that keeps my switch advantage piece. Oh yeah, he has parting shot on top of all that. Don't worry about it. The only thing holding its back is its base stats being all like mediocre. It has no standout stat. But in
No
general, I
standout
think
no
it's pretty
standout
nice.
ability.
Yeah, but in general, I like it for. I took it for the Z parting
But it's got a
shot.
lot of versatility.
Yeah, the Z parting shot is like the reason I picked it most likely. Like in my brain, it was like, yo, my vaults, they don't have recovery moves. No other than Arcanine with the Morning Sun.
Which is not the most
Uh,
reliable one, by the way.
yeah, and Z parting shot heals the thing you switch in full health. And so I was like, oh yeah, that fits me perfectly actually. And so I just
We'll
took it.
see. Not only that, Savelli also gets Defog and Tailwind as well, so it could be run as a
Yeah,
tech user.
it
So
also has
yeah,
that one.
it's just got so many roles, just like a Heatron.
Yeah,
It's
so
just a great versatile mon.
right. So in general, I think my team is pretty solid. But obviously I drafted it, so I will always say it's pretty solid.
See,
Um,
I drafted mine. I don't think mine's that solid.
We'll see
um,
week 2 against Phil.
yeah, Phil will be the first insanely hard test, right? Because we can just jump to Phil's team, right? I didn't do it so far. So Phil's team is scary. Not only because the team is scary, but because Phil is a strong player. So
Oh
I
yeah,
the people I know, I always like rate their teams higher somehow, because like everyone knows Pat, for example. Even though it's Pat, even though it's Smeargle in the team, since it's Pat's team that has Smeargle, you know that Smeargle is going to be scary. And that's the problem with like people that I know.
God damn it.
Like Pat for example is one player that I actually fear to play every single time I play him. Even though I also have like not the worst win rate against him. It's like 55-45 for him or something like that.
That's still higher than mine. I'm 1-15 against him.
I've I have beaten him quite some times, but the thing is, what I said when I talked about like our matchups, even if you like have 6 Pokemon, right, and he only has one left, it still feels like he has the upper hand because he plays his Pokemon so confident and so comfortable. That's insane. So to Phil's team because I already went about Pat's team, and can also state to you, Pat and I helped each other in the draft because since I am the hyper offensive guy from us two, he was like, "Yo, Lauren, I need a fighting type," and I was like, "Yo, Mean Shao for tier 3 is a really good fighting type," and so he picked Mean Shao, and stuff like that. We really looked that the each other just get a nice draft together with a little help. Because, for example, I didn't expect Shaman to ever be useful, and then he was like, "Yo, you can always just run special attack or physical attack Shaman, right? It has 100 in every stat." I'm like, "All right, I just know it as a cleric." So that's just fun to think about. All right, Phil's team. He started off with Mega Scizor, which again, I think every Pokemon that gets hindered by Lando, since Lando is not in the season, gets just a little boost. And so Mega Scizor is already like stepping up one step because it's just the Intimidate user, the strongest Intimidate user is just gone. I think Mega Scizor is a decent Pokemon. I'm not sure about the first pick, Mega Scizor, but I'm quite sure Phil has his plans with it because he seemed very happy to have it. And
Well,
it's
the reason he grabbed it right away is KK, the past 3 seasons, has always grabbed it first. It was
all
his
right
first pick every time. So
because
he knew.
yeah. So that's interesting because I wasn't around the last 2 seasons. Yo, mate, you literally are not understandable right now. You're like the
You're a
techno
robot.
robot.
Every other word, not even every other word, it's like every other sound.
All right.
Nope,
You're
still nothing.
That's crazy. I've rarely had this happen like where someone lags out this hard. But let's
Oh
just
no, it's not even that. It's Discord itself. Because I used this for another game, it was having issues last night.
that's actually interesting. But you understand me fine, right? Because I understand you fine.
Yeah,
For,
it's there. There were some people affected by it, some people not, but I don't know
I
what it is.
that's crazy for me. All right, let's just casually go over Phil's team like nothing is going on in the background. So yeah, but Mega Scissor, so that's interesting because I wasn't around the last seasons, so that's something good to know. But Mega Scissor, obviously, it has its power. It learns defog, which still confuses me because it's like a metal bug. But I mean, whatever, right? It learns defog. Maybe the strongest priority user in the entire entire possibilities of priorities because its bullet punch just basically kills everything at one point. Then
Well, it's
he
Technician Bullet Punch at that.
Yeah, Technician Bullet Punch, it gets Sword Dance and Curse, which I already talked about at the normal Scissor, because the normal Scissor obviously can do the same thing as Mega Scissor with the weird curse set that is going on right now. Um, Obviously, Mega Scissor way stronger at it, but it's still a possibility for both. But Mega Scissor with the sword dance to clean sweep or the curse to take more hits, both really strong options. And the defork, the physical defense is really nice. The only thing it worries about are like fire attacks. So
Well, see, that's the thing. A max HP scissor can, and a max HP or a max special defense scissor can take a specs HP fire from Magnazone and still live. So it's actually pretty scary.
yeah, that's insane bulk. But then again, it's HP fire isn't the strongest of all moves. So
But still, that covers the 4 times
that's
weakness.
that's
That's still huge.
that's crazy strong. Especially when I think about how my plans are to beat Phil's roster next week. I already have plans in mind. I didn't build anything so far, but I already have some plans in mind. So I hope this will be a great week 2 match, no matter who wins. But I'm quite sure it will be. Because last time Phil and I faced off in a draft league, I 6-0'd him. And I'm quite sure he wants his revenge.
Okay, am I back?
Oh yeah, welcome
back.
back. You're no longer a
yeah.
robot.
Yeah, my fucking Discord's being a
Yeah, we noticed. We just casually went on. So then he took the tier 2 has Dragonite.
Now, Dragonite's interesting because it can be run banded, still be amazing. Like, it has bulk, it has Marvel Scale, obviously, but it could also be run specs and like a special sweeper because nobody ever runs that, so nobody ever suspects that out of him.
And it also can be a Scarf Revenge Killer. So it's not often used because in general Scarf Dragonite is feeling weird because it already gets extreme speed, for example. But it's nothing to laugh at. It can absolutely ruin your team if you don't expect it.
I don't know. You think you got the outspeed, all of a sudden you get hit by an outrage that's outspeeding you. It's like, what the hell?
Yeah, especially from Dragonite's outrage.
Dragonite hits like a truck.
That's scary. That's actually scary. All right, let's
I
go
think
to Porygon Z. I like
Z
Porygon Z.
conversion.
Porygon Z is also like I feel like Phil's theme this season is like I want to kill my opponent as fast as possible because you have this
Yeah, like
Mega Scissor hurting like a truck, Dragonite hurting like a truck, Porygon Z hurting like a truck. Yeah,
yeah, you put a freaking Z conversion on that thing and
I
clean house.
actually if I'm not mistaken, like since it's an Omni boost, it's not allowed.
Yeah, it's not allowed. That's
You're
correct.
right. I forgot it's an omnibus.
But if you go like Scarf, that
It still
there's
hits like a truck.
show me your switch in is what Pat would say at this point
Well, it's
because
not just that. You run it specs too. That's
Yeah.
for like 75% of your health, even on a assault vest.
yeah, it's like the same
Yeah.
thing that happened with Tapu Bulu's assault vest against my Mega Latios. You will not get away with it. It just hurts. It hurts a lot. Cloyster, very interesting because it has been this weird state where everyone thinks about the Shell Smash immediately, but no one remembers that it has like rapid spin, spikes, and stuff like that because the Shell Smash set is so deep in our minds.
Yeah, because Shell Smash just.
Shell Smash is
So-
actually scary.
It is, but see, here's the thing about Cloyster. Even though it has a massive attack, you can turn around and run it special, and it's not seen that often. But if you turn around and use like a Hydro Pump stab, Ice Beam stab, and then you get a third move, it can turn around and be like a Hidden Power or something. You're still pretty set in there because no one's expecting a special Cloyster.
Yeah, it's the same thing I said with like the physical Mega Latios with Dragon Dance. Most people don't even know it gets Dragon Dance.
God damn it.
Oh, That's a new
I'm
voice.
back.
That was crazy. Can you do that again? All right. But
I
Cloyster
think it's
also,
lagging again for him.
yeah, absolutely. Cloyster has also insane defense, so you will not kill it
You're
physically
a
that easy.
fucking whore, Discord.
Discord sometimes can be a whore, actually. All right. Down to Moltres. I don't know about Moltres.
Moltres, it gets Substitute, it gets Fire Blast, it gets Tailwind. It can be used for Toxic setup. It's also an amazing ground check and a fighting check. So there's that definitely with it.
But it also gets like 50% from stealth rocks, and it
Yeah, but
gets
again,
like
this is Phil, so we're not expecting him to switch it in on a stealth rock.
yeah, but
I mean,
You gotta be kidding me, Discord.
the thing is like even Phil can be catched off guard, right? So that's how I won 6-0. Obviously, you will never 6-0 if the other player expects everything you do. But just in the case the stealth rocks are up and Phil can't remove them anymore, Moltres basically turns from this strong fire blast user to the useless second whenever needed one.
Yeah, use it to eat an attack for one turn.
Because of like that's why I don't like Articuno, I don't like Moltres. I never liked Talonflame, even though it was really strong with its ability. Just because like you switch it in and it's like half HP, gone. Straight gone. Especially when you
Yeah,
think about Moltres, people think, oh yeah, Moltres learns Defog. Yeah, if you switch that into Defog, you're gonna die.
yeah. Like, I'm sorry, if that's your defogger, you probably need another plan. But the problem is that outside of Sizer Mega, that's probably his best defogger.
Well, Dragonite I think gets Defog if you want to make some fun about that.
Yeah,
Cloyster
yeah.
learns Rapid Spin again. Cloyster learns Rapid Spin.
Well, yeah, rapid spin, but it takes spike and rock damage.
Yeah, but then you
So
go
it
to
can go
Mew.
down
Mew,
real fast.
like you have Mew. Mew is basically everything you ever wanted and needed ever in one Pokemon. So
I'm very glad to see Phil got Mew and not Pat.
yeah, I thought about taking Mew myself, but then I was like, with like my setup, I don't want Mew that badly actually. And then I saw Phil take, and I was like, oh, okay. I am actually happy that Mew actually was taken because I thought no one would take Mew because everyone thought it would have already been taken, right?
Oh no, Pat has taken it 3 seasons thus far. This is the first season he hasn't had it.
I think that's why Phil took it because he was like, before Pat takes it, nah, I'm not gonna give him another season with Mew. Yeah, but Mew's really strong in draft leagues because again in draft leagues you always look for these Pokemon that can fulfill multiple things, and Mew can do everything or nearly everything at least.
Yeah,
So yeah, that's a really strong pickup. Superior,
ultimate jackal upgrade.
yeah,
We skipped over Hitmonlee as well.
yeah. I just was like, oh, he has Mew, and wanted to talk about Mew for a moment. Superior.
Admittedly, it's a
Let,
fighting check.
let's just go with Superior first because then you have all tier ones done. Because I don't even know why Superior is a tier one. I want to know that right now.
Superior,
Dude,
because the usage
please
tech.
don't contrary.
It's
Yeah, but
yes.
Contrary,
People say
Contrary is a
for
strong
Pokemon
ability.
Master.
Don't get me wrong. Contrary is a strong ability, but Superior, even a ×2 boost on its special attack, isn't as threatening as it sounds. Because it still has
No,
like
but it can be
super
it
shit,
gets out of hand real
right?
fast.
The only thing it has going for it is speed and Contrary.
Yeah, that's
Well,
why.
not only
That's why it
that,
becomes a problem.
I've seen
With that
superior
+2
sets with.
boost adding up.
Subseed. Subseed is something I see, but Subseed is every single grass type, basically. That is, or not every single, but like, I think if you take
Most grass types.
Superior for Subseed, then better take Shaman. You take Superior for the Contrary and the Leaf Storm. And maybe the Glare, because Glare is a good
Yep,
move.
the glare.
Glare
Yeah,
is a really
Glare's
strong
actually
move, definitely.
paralyzed electric types.
Yeah,
If I remember
so
correctly.
I think that's actually the best use for Superior, is just having a fast Paralyzer. Because
Well, see,
I,
not
I
only
just did
that,
Superior.
Superior also gets defog and it's resistant to rocks.
I didn't know it got
I
default.
didn't know that either.
It gets
That's-
defog. You can scarf it and defog it, and it's a huge thing to use.
That's good to know. That's actually good to know.
Yeah, I might have actually drafted Superior if I'd known that.
I wouldn't, but it's still good to know. Yeah, but in general, I don't like Superior. I know Phil loves Superior. Like all the times I played with Phil, he is the one guy I remember using Superior ever. I've only seen one guy using Superior, and that was Phil. Because I never saw it on ladder, even though I played a lot of ladder, and it's supposed to be played a lot. I never saw that ladder. No one ever used it against me, and then Phil came up with this Superior, and I was like, what even is this Pokemon? What is it doing here? But yeah, I think that's another thing of these Pokemon where because it has a specific player has this Pokemon, it's strong. But if someone else would have taken that Pokemon, I wouldn't even have thought about anything at that moment. Like,
Honestly, like
not to shit talk Zoe, but if Zoe would have taken Superior, not Phil, I would have like not even a quarter of respect to that Superior. And that's not to
I
shit on
love that you
Zoe.
call her Zoe.
It's not to shit on Zoe because Zoe also
Zoe's made
has
some good picks.
Zoe has made good picks. I went over her draft as well already. The only thing I really don't like is Primarina and Polion because I think that's something like because they're already missing some types, picking two water types that are both slow is something I don't like.
They do have some advantages. Like
But yeah,
I personally
back to
prefer
Phil.
Primarina to Empoleon.
Yeah, but
But Empoleon's
back to
just
Phil's team. We
second,
aren't
like,
Phil's team. We are Phil's team. And to casually just
let's go
say,
team. I want to go over my team after.
oh sure, Verenta or Mew, Kamerupt, Kamerupt, Kamerupt. The German pronunciation right here. Let's go.
It's just a fat camel.
I
It doesn't.
it's one of these
like
cases which I also said at Jacqueline's draft, right? She picked Ariadas as last pick. It's one of these. I need a tier 5. Maybe I just take another Stealth Rock set or throw it in there. Throw it in there. Maybe I will use it one game. Same with Ariadas. Oh, I could use sticky webs. Just throw it in there.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it looks like. Comfy
I
now
mean,
is a good
Comfy.
cleric.
Comfy is a decent
He
cleric.
could be a good cleric.
Comfy gets that priority healing, doesn't he?
Yes,
Yes.
the triage. Which, oh god, in almost any ability is fucking terrifying.
Yeah, I think it's getting annoying, right? Comfy's annoying,
Well,
especially
imagine giving triage to a drain punch user.
yeah. That's why no Drain Punch user has it, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
But then don't worry, you have Pokemon with 6 fists learning every fist move with 20 base attacks. So what do I know, right? So Comfy is a good cleric in general. I think that's why Phil picked it as well because his team could use a cleric in general.
Yeah, that's like the biggest thing his team was missing if he didn't have Comfy. Was
Yeah,
a
absolutely.
dedicated cleric.
Absolutely.
Because his team's got
Well,
some bulk on it, so he definitely.
maybe he's missing like a standout defensive grass type because Superior is more of the fast sweeping type, right? Or like an more defensive water type because Cloyster dies to every special attack ever, and so like that's something that Phil could have taken that would have upgraded the team, I think. But in general, I like his draft a lot.
A Razor Leaf.
And there's Absol. Absol, I talked with Phil about that one already. It's scary as fuck for tier 5. It's
Oh yeah,
Absolutely pretty powerful too,
banded
not,
sucker punch hurts like a shit.
not even Bandit. Did you watch his last battle with the sword dance, man? It hurts! It hurts! The
and it's
sucker
got Psycho
punch.
Slash with the high crit ratio.
Yeah, Psycho Slash also gets the play rough and the superpower for nice coverage. The knockoff, the sucker punch. You can
Well,
play
see,
at the 100% crit rate up zone.
here's
You can do
here's
some
the
really
thing.
fun things with it.
Here's a set that not everybody knows about that works amazing against magic bounce users. You can actually throw swagger because it's allowed at a magic bounce user. It'll bounce back and raise your attack stat by 2. So if you have a lumberry or something like that, you just got a free thing. But if Phil, because he has Mew, because he has so many possibilities to set up walls like light screen and stuff like that, if he can get that out and then throw Absol out there, it's basically just sucker punch city for anybody who comes across it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
you gotta try to break down the Absol, and you're walking into like a potentially a +4 sucker punch.
yeah.
That's
The thing is,
something that
I used Mega Absol back in the day, but which now Pat has. I didn't go over it because about the niche it has had. It's maybe even the best Sableye counter with Diancie because you just no one expected it. They expects it somehow, but you just have like people with Mega Sableye always lead with Mega Sableye for some reason. You go with Absol, you Mega it,
they
you
do
do
that
the
because I can actually explain why, and somebody told me this, and I disagree with it. Is because everybody sees your Sableye, but for some reason everybody assumes you're gonna lead a hazard setter or like a will o wisp or something like that against the Mega Sableye because they apparently you're retarded
all right. Good
and
to
don't
know.
realize magic
Not
bounce
that,
exists.
but even before Dark types were
I
immune to
don't
Prankster,
understand that.
even before Dark Pokemon were immune to Prankster, you just take Absol against that thing, Mega it in its face, Sword Dance, and you have like 798 attack, 383 speed, and then you have Knockoff, Sucker Punch, Play Rough. There's nothing standing in your way.
No,
And
that
the same thing applies to Absol to some degree. Obviously, it's not as powerful and not as fast, but it still has this oh, the enemy uses Sableye. I am immune to Prankster, so fuck off. And it's really strong against stuff like that. And so Absol, pretty good Pokemon. Phil might. I think if I would make a top 3, Phil's team would be in there. Because I make it off like not only the
solid.
team but also the player behind it, and I think Phil with his ability.
Well, I'm not counting in any of the players behind the teams
I
because
the
there's just
thing is
people I
I
don't know.
usually don't do either, but like for example Pat or Phil, because I know them so long, I just do it even without noticing it sometimes. Like for example,
Well,
I
I did
never
that.
I never notice how strong a Pokemon is, right? Like for example Superior, and then Phil uses it, and I'm already in my mind like thinking about how he's gonna play the Superior, and that way add on the Superior strength, even though it might not even be that strong.
No, but if used in the right hands, something that's pathetic can become a terrifying.
Yeah, but Phil surely can do a lot with that team. I respect the team a lot. He might one time switch out Camerupt for tier 4 because there's 20 points left, but we will see. But it's a good team, definitely. Alright, so which team do you want to do next?
He wants to do Team Die. I can't even pronounce that without butchering
It's
it.
supposed to be Gundam. It's supposed to be Gundam, but Bazo's an asshole, so she made it come damn.
Yeah, Team
But
Die
see,
Come
Team Die
Damn.
Gundam.
Alright, so we have at the get-go we have Curum Black. The
A very powerful physical sleeper right off the bat.
yeah, it's definitely it has its. All right, one question before we go any further, because I think you both
Okay.
picked before me, right?
Yes.
Right.
How the hell did Tapu Koko get all the way to me?
Well, all right. To be fair, I am doing my team is based on mechas and kaiju from
That's one excuse,
so
alright.
Coco does not fit. I could not find an excuse for Coco.
Alright.
I was looking at Coco, and then I saw that Heatran was still available, and it's one thing I've wanted for 3 seasons, and I'm like, okay, fuck it, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna take
Because
Heatran. It sets me up solidly.
I can't get my head around it. Tapu Koko is like
And
every draft league I was in, it was like Landorus, Tapu Koko, first 2 picks every single time.
dude, I had Coco last season and used it for like one game.
And the
Well,
fun thing
everybody got Coco last season, or they got a
Yeah,
Tapu
and
last season, and it was actually pretty decent to most teams.
it just didn't help mine. But
the thing is
if it
that
was,
the Tapus, what my problem is with Tapus is they are so strong. Sometimes like Tapu Koko is so strong in the team that everyone will immediately think I will absolutely always take it because I have also Coco Lucha and just will build hard around it. And like last week, I didn't even take Tapu Koko. I brought Halucha with the grassy seed because I knew he would bring Bulu to stop my terrain. And I didn't even use that.
no, yeah, it's like you could just use them to meme people.
Yeah, but
Like that's
Tapu Koko is like I don't know why it cut all the way to me. It's kind of physical and special. Not, it has Volt Switch and U-turn. Volt Switch and U-turn in one Pokemon is great. Now,
I
but
mean,
all
granted,
right,
Tapu Koko does struggle to get kills on a lot of my team.
yeah, but I mean we will see. We face off like
I
in
mean,
week
yes, there are
any
some
1 week.
sets, and if the situation is right, yes, like Kieran Black will die instantly to Tapu Koko
We will
with the
definitely
right.
we will have a match. I know we will have a match. I looked it
Oh
up.
yeah, we will.
But I don't know
But
when. But let's go over your team now then. When you say I can't grab a kill on your team, that's a challenge right out there.
I am gonna kill. I'm gonna make you work for that.
uh, I've never
So
worked
we
for a
got
kill in my life. Kira Black's first pick, strong
Kieran
physical
Black, the
sweeper.
Dragon Sword.
Yeah, we have Dragon and we have one of the rare cases where there's an actually good ice type. That just something that impresses me to this day is that there are so few strong ice types because ice is such a
Yeah, there
shitty
really are.
type. Ju-
I tried writing mono ice and it's so painful.
And
I mean,
I
even with Alola Tails and Slush
yeah
Rush, Alola Slash, it just isn't enough.
yeah because the defensive type of ice is so bad. It it wouldn't even be as bad if it's only the amount of weaknesses. But which weaknesses? Like fighting is a very common type. Fire is a very common type. Weak to stealth rocks, which
Rock,
are late every single game. So like
Steel.
steel, which is used because of fairies these days. You have so many bad weaknesses. It's crazy. But
it is.
Kieran Black gets around that. And Kieran Black is
You
a
know,
really
you don't
strong
really.
Pokemon.
He is. He does have a problem with Stealth Rocks, but he can still go in. He can come in and get your typical Scarf Stack come in, revenge kill against with the right setup going. He can sweep teams.
Yeah, you can also do the weird random battle thing where you put the substitute on it and just substitute and then put 3 attack
There
moves, or
we go.
substitute roost and double attack moves. That's something I saw in random battles because I play a lot of random battles.
Oh,
I was
the
at like 2,100 elo in random battles one time. It's hilarious because up there
yeah.
everyone is tryharding their asses off to get one win. And Kieran Black has some very fun sets in random battles. I like it. So we have a Mega Blastoise as a tier 2. And something I noticed, by the way, is only a few people actually took a tier 1 Mega because the bonus points seemed so good for most people. And now I see you, you scumbag, picking Mega Blasters for the 40 points and then don't even using the 40 points.
Yeah, I know. I 40 points lift me at 40 points, so I can get another pick if I need to. That's a little better. Like, for example, get rid of my Regice that I've got.
Oh, maybe get rid of your Sigalith? Alright, Mega Blastoise. A good physical
Mega
wall.
Blastoise was honestly picked just because it looks like a mecha.
Alright. I mean, it's a
As
good
for
physical wall. It's a good physical
It-
wall. It's a water
It gets
type.
rapid spin.
yeah,
It gets rapid spin. It gets the Scald, the Aura Sphere. So it sure can do damage.
and it
Um,
can use the pulses that aren't necessarily the greatest.
the pulses aren't the greatest, but they're definitely in the repertoire you have to keep in your mind when you play against it, because the damage is there. It definitely can deal damage. Since you're apparently lagged out, I will just keep going randomly. We have Nidoking next. uh,
Nidoking with the scarf, the life orb, definitely a contender for fast kills or even power kills.
yeah, the problem with Scarf, I think, is it's so slow compared to other Scarfers that it struggles to get some
Fire,
revenge
Buster Sport.
kills on the fastest of them sweepers.
Well, like you said,
Whenever
it's not the fastest with Nidoking, but people expect Life Orb to come out. And so when
That's
they
true.
send out something just a little bit faster, and then it's like, oh, hey, why is it outspeeding? Then it becomes apparent. It's like, oh shit, what do I have to counter this?
Yeah, though the thing about Scarf Nidoking is it lacks the power, because Life Orb is a huge power boost for Nidoking, and the Scarf doesn't
Oh yeah.
have that, and so that's something
When
I
you bring
always
out
look at.
Espeon
So it's a
on,
trade
it's
of like
godly.
Life Orb Nidoking for the good damage, because Scarf Nidoking sometimes just hits super effective and still can't kill because it has too low base special attack, or base attack for that matter. And so the thing that I feel like keeps it that strong, because I still like it, is just the versatility of the moves, because you have coverage for everything,
Am I
and
still
it
lagging?
still hurts. It still
A
hurts
little
a
bit.
lot.
Fuck.
You
Some
can just
bullshit.
try talk.
I don't know why my freaking internet's acting up this bad. It doesn't normally act bad.
Oh, I just I next to Wayne's team, we have the John F team that Pat has to face week one. And he basically told me he hates that team as enemy because it's a rain team of all things to start.
Well, it's like I was looking at that. As soon as I saw him pick Pelipper, I'm like, I already know where he's fucking going with this. I need to turn around and pick some stuff up for it because I hate facing rain.
Oh, I don't mind rain that much because in general
He's
the
not that. He's only got like 2 months that benefit off rain though. Aside, well, Circuitry, but
now you have Pelipper, you have Circuitry, you have Venusaur, which gets less damage from fire attacks that way. You have
yeah, but
Mega
you're probably
Swampert,
hitting that with air anyways.
and you have Mega
You're probably hitting
Swampert,
that with
so
fly.
pretty good.
Oh yeah, Mega Stomper definitely benefits.
Also,
No
does
shit.
Escavalier.
Escavalier also, yeah.
His rain team doesn't really bother me, luckily, like for myself. So I'm not scared of him. But I can understand why
Yeah.
some people would be.
I love that Pat has Ferrothorn, because Ferrothorn on that team would have been scary. So back to your team, Wayne, now that you're back. We talked about Nidoking. Yeah, you can also give your theme by Nidoking. Does it also look like a mech to you, or?
Yeah, it's kind of like it's kind of like the ghetto girl in Logon.
All right.
It also fits kaiju theme also. So it's like it's just a good utility mon that can fit in both either side of the theme.
All right.
So
So
that's
we
the
have
only reason he was like.
the
And
meme team, dream team right here with the full meme. Honchkrow, the annoying burp.
Honchko has been life for my last 2 seasons.
It has literally carried him through some victories.
Honchko will come in, get 1 or 2 boosts, and just wreck people's teams.
I imagine him using like the Z mirror move or whatever just to get the boost.
No,
I mean,
he does supersonic strike like every time he's gone for the boost, and then he'll turn around and just try to sucker punch everything.
But
and
here's the
eventually get a
thing,
sucker punch going off right bird your ass.
that's predictable.
It is predictable, and that's why I'm amazed it's been working.
I mean, you can
Like,
bring it against me. I'm not against it. Try to bring it against me. I double dare you.
Dude.
But
I pretty much run the same team all season, and it's consistent.
but Honchko definitely a good revenge killer with the
Honchko-
sucker punch.
When I first grabbed Honchko in my first season here, I was genuinely surprised at how well it could do.
The people underrate it. People underrate it. It hurts. It hurts, and it gets Moxie, which is a really good ability.
It really is. It's ridiculous. Like there's no reason for it to be as underrated as it is. It's definitely a good tier 3.
Definitely.
I mean, it's just people look down on it.
All right, then let's go to the double blades, double ghost blades.
Before we go further, I feel like your whole thing, aside from being theme team, Wayne, is you picked up Gigalith as well, which gives most of your team, because it's mostly steel, gives it that extra what is it, the Sandstorm team?
Yeah, but he lacks the Sandstorm super other than Excadrill, and Excadrill is something that benefits a lot from Sandstorm, right? So you have Excadrill that benefits quite decently, and then you have Gigalith, and that's it. Like another rock type to really push out the advantage. Or like, actually, to be fair, I laughed at the Stoutland from Pat a little because he has the Stoutland to Powdon combo, but it's a bad sand sweeping team because Stoutland is so weak. Stoutland take Stoutland and put it in Wayne's team, and it's suddenly good. It's suddenly a good Pokemon because two Sand Sweepers are way more scary than one. It's like amplifying each other up to a ridiculous amount.
Well, it's not just that. Sandstorm boost to steel types, it could essentially boost Magearna just enough to get off maybe like a speed boost or something, and then start out on kills. Or it normally would.
Yeah, because Max does not like things like Fire Blast.
But steel types don't get a
especially
boost in the
defense boost.
Sandstorm, mate.
They
Do
do. Steel, rock, and ground get a special defense boost.
I knew about rock, but I didn't know about steel because usually I don't care about steel Pokemon that much.
Yeah, that's why Gigalith was like the final decision for my last pick. It's like I can rock this.
I mean,
Like a lot of.
whatever floats your boat, man.
I mean, it's if I need it, it's there. It's one of those I needed another pick.
Just one thing I just noticed, like you sir have like 2 ghost types, which both are slow. Why the fuck do you have 2 slow ghost types?
Well, Delmise is the rapid spinner, and it can also do an anchor shot to pin you in, while Dual Blade can get a power up, and through the Eviolite, it's kind of bulky, especially under sand.
Yeah, but the thing I always try to look at is like, I'm quite sure there are better rapid spinners in tier 4. I don't have the tier list open, but tier 4 was a pretty big list of Pokemon.
There's another reason why I chose Delmise. I wanted a grass type for our tier 4.
Let me open the tier list right now. I would like to see it.
For the grass ghost typing.
I mean, it's not shit or whatever, right? But I just confused.
And its Steelworker ability allows me to get a triple stab.
We still have Cryogonal out in tier 4, which is a fast
Well,
rapid spinner.
Cryo.
It wasn't open. I know. Don't worry. Yeah,
Turn
what do we
Aguilar
have
is
here?
long gone.
Oh, we have a
And
goal
you also
bet.
don't,
Goal bet, boys.
and it has to. Plus, you have to remember to remember because I put myself into a theme challenge every season. So like, if I couldn't think of a theme for it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, don't worry about it. I mean, it's in the end, it's your pick.
I mean,
Like whatever, right? Holy
well, yeah.
shit. Whimsicott in tier 4 still around. It's a strong tier 4, mate. Well, I will not
It depends
convince you
on
to
who
take.
uses it.
Yeah, I will not convince you to take any other Pokemon. I like your double ghost core right there. Just don't swap anything around. There are no strong Pokemon around anymore. Okay.
There really aren't any strong Pokemon left.
All right.
Uh,
Okay, Magana, the most
a
annoying steel
literal
fairy
fucking
sweeper.
mech.
A little fucking
It,
steel mech that is annoying the crap out of me ever since it got released.
if it gets the boost, it's psychotic. Even without boost, people will put so much effort into killing it that the rest of my team can get its job done.
Also, what I like about Magerna is like you have the shift gear set, you have the assault dress set. Oh, let's put a choice scarf on it. Oh, maybe choice specs works. It has everything,
It's a little bit of everything. It can do. It can. It's got a great variety of moves. It's got great variety in different sets.
and it has
I'm
insane
not lacking.
coverage, man. It has insane coverage.
It's not lacking any.
Nah,
I
definitely
mean,
not.
it, it's just depending on what build you run, what support you need to give it.
Right, then we have Excadrill, the Sand Sweeper.
Sandsweeper, Mold Breaker.
Rapid
So for
spinner.
annoying little shits like
Yeah, I was about to
Levitate,
say, it also learns Stealth
Disguise.
Rocks and Rapid Spin, doesn't it?
Oh yes, it gets them both.
Yeah, it's a pretty good
It
lead.
is definitely a hazard setter and remover.
Yeah, it's
That's
it's a
another
good
something.
lead. It's a good lead.
It's just another good. It can be used for sweeping, it can be used for utility, it can be used for both.
Yeah, I like Excadrill. I see it definitely being a strong pick. Sigilyph, the Pokemon where only one set is known to mankind.
Oh, nope,
One
there's
set,
a
but if
second one.
Oh shit! Did you find a second one? Like every single time people
there's
talk
one
about
set.
Sigilyph, they come up with these, oh yeah, it gets like this cosmic power, stored power, then roost, with the flame up for the magic guard, and then you bounce the flame up with Psycho Shift, you bounce the flame up to the opponent to burn, and get burned immediately, so, and I'm like, yeah,
I made a match go on for 2 hours using that set against the freaking leftovers Umbreon, so the guy struggled his Umbreon to death.
bro, that's actually,
It,
that,
it was
alright,
so sad.
before we go further on the draft, like, to talk about depressing moments in our Pokemon career, I had no scalds on my Suicune with like three times special defense, and it nearly died to Ice Beam because I was frozen that fucking long. I was frozen like over 20 turns. It was crazy.
You got ice in your veins.
Alright, back to the draft. Yeah, Sigilyph is, it's annoying. But to be fair, it doesn't do much.
It can. It's a solid defog user because of what is it? I forget the
Magic Guard,
ability.
Magic Guard.
Yeah, it goes in, doesn't take anything to like spikes, toxic spikes, stealth rock.
Yeah, it comes in, immune to it, gets rid of it.
Dies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
mean,
mean, I see that it can do stuff,
it's not.
but it's
There's a reason
weird.
it's tier 4. There's a reason it's tier 4.
Yeah, there's
It's typically used for cosmic power, stored power. There's not much else you can do with it, in my opinion. You can do the defog. You can do. I've seen a janky air slash, but
whatever floats your boat, I guess.
yeah, it's like
All right, Reggie Eyes, the second worst of the 4 golems. The worst being Reggie Kickass.
Okay, so Regice's choice was literally just based on that fucking angel from Neon Genesis Evangelion, the damn pyramid cube thing, prismed thing, and I needed a pick. There's no tactical value to my team for Regice.
Well, in that case,
Literally
I'm
to be
surprised you didn't upgrade it to Registeel Tier 4 with your 40 points.
If
True.
I honestly thought Registeel was taken and that's why I did.
I mean, you
looked at the
can still think about it. Yes. But
I
don't do it
honestly
before.
going
Wait,
to.
don't do it before week 5 because that's where we fight. Making your team harder should be as annoying.
Yeah, no, I'm thinking about grabbing Registeel just because it is a better overall mod,
Definitely.
and yeah, there's literally just no reason for Regice's existence on my team
All
except
right.
for like I guess
And we have Gigalith, or how Phil described it, the best suicide sand setter.
started off as a joke. Fits a kaiju theme. Started off as just I needed an 11th pick. Looked at my team. It's like okay, a bunch of my stuff gets special defense boost. Extra drill could be used for a sand sweeper. Usage started coming up to Gigalith.
Well, honestly, I wouldn't have been surprised if like Gigalith was the first pick and you would have picked the exactly same team. Wouldn't have surprised me at all, honestly. It's a good team with Gigalith.
Yeah, no, like Gigalith, I was actually like disappointed until I looked at Gigalith, like I was like, oh yeah, it gets sand. I'm like, this can work.
Gigalith, by the way, the reason Phil lost 6-0 back then. he had Gigalith and had Mega Lopunny, and he was sure Mega Lopunny would high jump kick, deal like 80% or 90% damage, and then die to an earthquake. And then it was adamant Lopunny and just killed it. And he was pissed off for like the rest of the season. He hated me. But Registeel is taken by now, right? So you would have to switch.
Yeah, it was taken out well, a long time ago.
Yeah, by KK. He took it as his last pick.
Yeah, because KK's a dick.
Yeah, he took it as his last pick, so. What?
I wouldn't have had enough points anyways.
Alright.
I wanted Gigalith.
Yeah, you could.
Yeah, KK's a dick.
You can tell. Alright, he might watch the
Kill
video.
Jacqueline.
Alright, so I did Jacqueline, I did Phil, we did Zoe Pedestan, Michael is done. So John F was missing, Wayne we did, KK was missing, Craig is missing, Isaac is missing. I did myself, Frank, John, then Tim and James are also missing. But I will only do one more team, so you can choose one because it's like midnight soon and I gotta go to school tomorrow for another 10 hours because school be like, ah, fuck off.
Let's do Frank.
I gotta
Frank.
ask Craig about his pick. He's got me questioning some things.
Frank.
All the way at the end.
Yeah, I see it. Alright, so since you said you wanted to Frank, how about you start off us on Celesteela?
Celestia it can be run offensively or defensively. Solid pick for stall. I'm looking at his roster. He has a really good core with Celestia, Mega Sceptile, and Florges. That's 2 stall right off the bat in a core. And then Mega Sceptile is fast, also gets a lightning rod, which is definitely helpful. Then exactly. And then we go down into his picks a little bit more. I mean, he has Fortress for the spinner and the setter. He has Claydol again, spinner setter. Toxic Pex is pure stall. It looks like Frank is just going for survivability so far.
With intimidate cuts physical.
I think Frank's team, when I look at Frank's team, so what I did so far is every team I go over every Pokemon by itself and then as a team. But honestly, you can't look at Frank's team like one for one because every single Pokemon is like for his team is like decent, but when you put them together, it's literally an OU stall team.
There's
Yeah,
only one man on his team that I'm really questioning, and that's Passimian.
yeah, that was throwing me off too. Like maybe he
He
was.
needed a fighting type. That's as
Yeah,
plain
I
as I can make it.
Yeah, that's about the only thing I could see is that you needed a fighting type, and there just wasn't
yeah,
enough.
but then I don't know who picked first. To pick James Scrafty first or Frank Pasemian, because I think Scrafty is better than Pasemian in his team.
James would have picked first because it would have been going back to the front at that point in one of the last picks.
All right. Yeah. Well, then that's that. But otherwise, I would have liked Scrafty more on his team. But otherwise, he has like this weird stall team because Celesteela stall, Toxap can be stall, Toxapex can be stall, Fortress or is stall, Fortress is stall, Incineroar is pretty bulky, Frogress is bulky, Cladle is bulky, and then has these sweepers that every stall player loves to see, like Sceptile, Raikou, Sneasel for the revenge killing, and Gyarados to completely tear apart enemy defensive teams. And so I think Frank's team, now that I look at it a little more, it's really strong.
It is really strong. It's a big step up from last season's team. I really want to be surprised this season because last season he was still getting into things. He was still like discovering how to draft league and everything. And then this season it looks really strong out of the gate, and I really want to watch his replays as he goes along.
Definitely. It's definitely like a team to watch. But also a team to watch, in my opinion, is Tim's team because his team also looks pretty strong on paper. But now that I've played him week on, um, I think if that's the if that's a sign on how he plays as a player in general, he surely can step up a lot with his team still. So I also think Tim is someone to watch because I think he will improve over the season and he will be pretty strong with that team.
If Tim plays right, I think Tim has a really good chance.
All right,
Tim has potential. I will say this for Tim. Tim has potential, but he
definitely.
falls into predictability. Like he'll run same sets on everything. He'll do same leads, same like just this Pokemon's for this Pokemon's for that. He won't change things up if they work, and that makes him really predictable.
Yeah, also what I don't like on how Tim played against me at least is like there was this point where Shaman was like getting on his nerves so much that he actually just throw away the game. He was on tilt at that point, like using Will-O-Wisp on a substitute that was set up last turn already. And that stuff basically that he could have gotten 1 or 2 months if moves like these wouldn't have occurred. And that's something I noticed, or at least that's how I felt when I saw these moves. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he just forgot about substitute or whatever. But if it is how I saw that he just got on tilt, then that's something he has to work on, definitely. Because every Pokemon kill counts in the end, because it always can go to the head thing for the playoffs. But Tim definitely has potential. All right.
I'd like to see him do good this.
I have a short question. All right. So let's do the top 5 teams because 3 are too few in my opinion. What are your top 5 teams to watch this season? You can rank them from 1 to 5, or you can just say, oh, they are so close together that I don't want to rank them. However you feel about it. And yeah,
All right,
so
well, I'll start off then,
yeah, you can start us off.
unless you guys. All right, so for number one team, I really want to watch Pat. Pat's always entertaining. He throws in a variety of surprises usually. Personally, what I want to see him use amazingly is he has Zarawa, however the hell you say that, I don't know, and he has Mega Absol, which gives him pure fast and pure strikers. The rest of his team, a little slow on the end, but it has bulk. I really want to see how he's going to incorporate everything into that.
Yeah,
Um,
that's actually I can add on to that. I think Pat is probably the favorite to win the season, in my opinion, because he's not only a talented player, absolutely, and everyone knows it in this group, I think, but also his team is something he is feeling comfortable with picks like the Hippowdon or the Ferrothorn, but also is like something to add on to that, right? The Mega Absol or the Mean Shower or the Gengar, the Zeraora, are stuff he isn't commonly using because he's more of the balanced player. But I think that would step up his game in the draft league where a lot is made about these weird sets that to throw off your opponent. And I think Pat will do really, really great this season.
The second team I have to say I'm watching is Levi, just because of Levi's Dragonsteel Fairy Core. He has Scizor, Mega Gardevoir, and Zygrade. Not only that, he has bulk behind him with Milotic, Mandibuzz, Rotom, Amoonguss, Snorlax. Like, that's a lot of bulk to switch around in between.
I had Levy's team as absolute first team I covered, and I didn't even notice the Steel Fairy Dragon combo. But then again, I focused on the Fire Grass Water more, and I'm kind of sad he didn't take a more bulky Fire type because I don't fear Levy's team at all. Maybe it's just my mindset. But I know he's a bulk player. I know he plays a lot of stall teams and stallish teams.
Could be a good revenge killer.
Infernape is a good range killer, but I absolutely predicted him to take like a grass, water, fire combination, right? A bulky team, and he didn't do that, and that maybe I'm underrating his team.
Isn't a Mungus grass?
Yeah, but he
Mungus
has
is
no
grass.
he has no strong defensive fire type. Like Infernape, every time Infernape switches in to take a hit, it's also dead at the same time. So maybe I'm underrating Levi's team. I don't know. It didn't seem that scary to me.
I don't think he's gonna need to worry about fire type bulk because I'm not even gonna lie, last season his just so I have Zygarde, he threw me for a loop our first match. Second match it came down a lot more evenly. But I was not expecting Zygarde such a pain in the ass. And that Zygarde, the way his team was set up, he was able to keep Zygarde going until he just ripped my team apart.
Well, yeah, maybe actually stronger than I gave it credit to at the start. We will see. All right, number 3 for you.
Number 3, I gotta go you, Lauren. It's you have Tapu Koko. Strong lead off. You got Halucha, despite the rules not being said, but it turns around, comes out for the season, and you're gonna make the most of it. Then you turn around, you have like I said with Levi, you have that strong Steel Fairy Dragon core right out of the gate with Tapu Koko, and then Mega Latios, and then Steelix. Pretty much you can just switch in between whatever you need there. You have a bunch of tech on your team, a bunch of walls as well. As we saw in week 1, Shaman did a lot of heavy lifting against Tim's team and just basically shut him out pretty fast. You have let's see, two defoggers, 2 rapid spinners, and so you're pretty set on everything. It just comes down to how well can you predict your opponents and everything. I would like to see how Crocodile can be used though, because every time I've seen somebody use it, I've been a bit disappointed.
Yeah, that's I'm quite sure that Crocodile fits this team well because it's fitting the overall theme of my team being fast, but also having the chance to be played a little more bulky because Crocodile has Intimidate overall, right, and the Stealth Rocks. But yeah, that's uh, first of all, thanks for rating me this high because I will never put my own team on the top 5 because that sounds arrogant.
That's how I'm feeling. Yeah.
But yeah.
I know where I want to be, but I won't put myself up in top 5.
So
All right.
that's a good analysis of the team actually.
Back that up.
All right, number 4 for you.
Number 4, I gotta say Phil. I mean, we covered his Fairy, Steel, and Dragon already.
Yeah.
With Compe being there and it getting the priority to healing spells, it definitely sets a pace. You have to deal with that. You have to deal with it fast. He gets kind of Mew all around thing. He can use it for whatever he needs. But what I really want to see out of Phil's team, because I think it has so much potential, is if he could set up a trick room team, because Camerupt in there would be huge. So would Porygon Z. It would be a huge specs user in Trick Room,
Yeah,
and
and
not a
Mega
lot of
Scissor is also not that fast, so Mega Scissor also is pretty strong in the Trick Room.
Oh yeah, Mega Scissor can benefit from Trick Room.
Oh yeah, and then just I mean, there's a lot to use there. There's Absol, not the fastest, but it would give him the benefit of using other moves aside from Sucker Punch, and you could run that with the scope lens to increase the critical chance rating with Super Luck.
Yeah, the 100% crit rate Absol, how I played it back in my first games, I remembered. Yeah, definitely Phil, strong team. I will get to my top five right after this, but definitely Phil also a very strong team. I agree.
I mean, for number 5, it's kind of a toss up. I want to say James because it looks like he's going to be running that a Sun team because he picked up Torkoal, he has that Rose Raid, he has that Mega Houndoom, he has that Tangrowth, and just basically stuff that just benefits from it a little bit. I mean, he has
Well,
Metagross for bulk, the Rhydon for bulk, also an Eviolite user, Scrafty if it gets powered up as a sweeper, Yon Mega to stop like speedy types in their tracks.
the thing why I don't actually like the Torkoal is because Tangrowth dies to special fire attacks, Metagross struggles with it. You have Rodham Wash. Actually, you can go against his team. You can go the surprise solar beam, and if he sets up the sun and then goes into Rodham Wash, it's suddenly dead. That's something I hope he's aware of and doesn't let it happen. Because that would be hilarious to see, but at the same time, so sad to see.
Oh, it does the
I
same
get
thing
it.
to Rhydon even on the
Yeah.
Eviolite.
So that's why I actually think that Torkoal is an benefit, but also a downside to his team, depending on the matchup. So I don't see him run Torkoal that often, actually.
And
Even
just
without
the
Sunny, it's
the
got some
tie
good benefits.
between James and then I'm gonna have to say Jackie all the way back at the front. I'm looking at her team. It looks well rounded, though I can't really see a for sure Dragon Steel Fairy Core. I see a Steel Fighting and like Poison Core going on there,
I mean, she got a
like a
lot out
Dark
of a
Steel
team
Fairy,
when I think about she has first round pick Mega Beedrill.
which gives her that 40 points that she used. It's a fast pick, gives a U-turn capability, also gives sweeping potential with Beedrill because not a lot of people go out and try to grab that.
Definitely, definitely.
Yeah, no, I was mad about that. No, it was gonna be my pick too.
But I don't like. I also went over Jacqueline's team and I said it's like for me same thing with Levy's team. I rated them pretty equally on the kind of scary, not extremely scary, but kind of scary team range. But I see strong cases to be made for her to have a strong team. Absolutely, it's not a weak team overall, especially with the Bishop in there, for example, who's like Bishop is an insanely good Pokemon to stop defog and whatsoever, right? And like annoy every sticky web user ever. So
Well,
definitely, it's
not
definitely
just
strong cases.
not just that. If she throws the Espeon out there with the Magic Bounce,
Yeah,
defog will actually cause the person who used it to lose their evasiveness instead of all the way around, and that makes it really dangerous for a fast Espeon to just pick up and start taking it out.
Like stocked up on Hazard.
yeah. That's what I was about to say. Is like, um, so she has Aerodactyl and Mamoswine for her Stealth Rocks, but her own hazard removal is like also Aerodactyl. I think gets defog and Espeon, but she lacks some hazard removal. I feel like to put her on the very strong team. She lacks the second option in my opinion.
We'll see. Where I think she's going to go is not only with the stealth rocks. I think she's going to prioritize the webs from Ariados over that. Because if she can get webs out, even if they get stealth rock out, you can switch in. You're still faster, depending upon what Pokemon you send out. Rocks don't really hurt that bad to most of her team. The only one it really hurts is like Mamoswine and Aerodactyl. Everything else is just kind of minimal damage to it.
Beedrill, mate. Beedrill
Beed-
gets quarter
well,
life away.
Yeah, but Beedrill again.
Maybe
She,
but he's gonna put in work.
oh yeah, but I mean, if she does a wish with a Loma Lola and then throws in Beedrill, as long as he survives that hit, he gets a wish.
Oh, absolutely.
And
Well, so let's go over my top 5, not including myself because I would never do that because it feels arrogant.
But we
And
know he wants.
I I absolutely have to give the first place to Pat. Like I know Pat is a very talented player. His team is strong, uh, and I would like to see him use Smeargle a lot because I feel like this is a Pokemon that can do so much in the right hands, and so that's something like I want to see him use the different ways to abuse Smeargle's move pool for just throw it out there and like get these creative picks off and whatever. So that's something I would like to see, and I also really like the Slow King as like special wall just slapped on there, and it like because his physical walls were strong, but he lacked some of the special wall, and then he has like tier 4 Slow King, and it just takes everything as water type. I really love Pat's team, also because I helped drafting it, but also just because it's a strong team overall. It has great attack and great defense power. Um, for my number 2 team, I have to go with Phil because I think Phil's team is very close to Pat's team. He has very, very powerful combinations, and like even if a plan goes wrong in his team, he can always set up a backup plan, and he always has the option of just slap in Mew and do whatever you need, right? So his team has very, very little weaknesses, but very strong strengths, and so that's why I put it on number 2 for me. Uh, Number 3 is for me the team from John F, because he has a rain team, and even though I don't fear it that much, because my team should do decently good, rain teams in general I've experienced do quite well in draft leagues because most people don't have weather control, and so the weather will just stay, and you have to deal with the empowered Pokemon in the weather. And just like Pelipper, Circuitry, Mega Swampert are just 3 very strong Pokemon together. You have the electric immunity, you have the ground immunity slapped on there. And so I feel like John's team is very scary. It's all about how he's gonna use it. Uh yeah, for number 4, I personally would go with the Michael team, with the Hollywood Gardevoirs. Just I feel like the overall strength of the team is pretty good. I don't. I'm not. I think Noivern is not a strong Pokemon, not even close to it. But it's at least a fast Pokemon that can get some revenge kills and do the item switch thing and whatsoever, the trick. And so there's definitely that, and there's the Pokemon I had to Google. I didn't know what Omastar was because I never saw Omastar ever. I'm very sorry about that one. But overall, I like the team because also of Heatran as first pick. Heatran is such a strong Pokemon in many teams. But
Heatran, Mega Alola, Diggers. Did I
uh,
really just say Mega Alola?
Alola Muk, not Mega Alola.
Yeah.
Mega Alola, the island that transforms. Yeah, but also what I really um, look forward to see is Dodrio. Dodrio is a very fast Pokemon, which people don't often think about, but it's really, really fast. And it can deal quite a lot of damage with the jump kick, brave bird. It has the quick attack, sword dance, return, whatever. Yeah, you can vary the moveset a little, and it's fast and it can do definitely a lot of damage.
He's got Toga hack, so I mean he's got that too.
Yeah, Togekiss, I don't know about Togekiss, man. I
Togekiss be very, very annoying with certain grades.
yeah, I see the I have a steel dragon fairy thing going on here, right? Like the Hedron, the Noivern, and the Togekiss. But I feel like Noivern is not strong enough for that. And therefore the whole trio is a little weaker. Like a stronger dragon would have absolutely helped the team, but it's not like Noivern is something to laugh at all. It can definitely be annoying. But I feel like Togekiss is one of these months again where I'm like, how strong is it really? Because what I said in the analysis of this team is like Togekiss is one of those Pokemon where if all Pokemon are slow that are left, right, it shines. It destroys slow teams and slow Pokemon. But against fast Pokemon, you really have to be creative with your switches to get the Thunder Wave off or whatever, because you will otherwise not be able to use Togekiss that much because fast physical attackers will always hurt it a lot.
Oh yeah, like here in Black, like if I see a Togekiss coming in, I'm iron heading that little bastard.
Yeah, but
And
that's
there goes
just my thoughts on the team. But I still think it's pretty strong, especially with the
Oh yeah, he's
Helios,
definitely
for
up
example.
there.
Helios definitely a strong Pokemon. Very underrated for tier 4.
One of my favorite normal types actually.
All right, and for my tier 5, honestly, I've not thought about who I would give it to because there are some teams that I feel like could do pretty well. Um, so Jacqueline's team is definitely there. I think Levi's team is definitely there. But because we talked about these two that much already, I would give it to John Ross. Because John Ross' team, I didn't talk about it at all, looks pretty strong. With Hooper and Bound as a strong first pick, it deals a lot of damage. Only a little slow, true. Hydreigon, same thing. Very strong, a little slow. Breloom, same thing. Strong, a little slow. Araquanid, this is something you have to talk with Pat too, because he loves this Pokemon. I like it, but I feel like it's a little weird to use sometimes because it's so slow and only has like good special defense. Gligar's very, very strong. It's insanely strong actually.
It
Mega
gives
Bla-
that neutral to rocks.
yeah, also you can just swap it into every poison and don't care at all. And you have defog, and you can set your own rocks, and you have knockoff on top of that, and your own toxic. So it's really good. Mega Banette. I think this was just one of these I need points moves, but it's still a ghost. Ghost types are always good. Clefable, very annoying Pokemon. Volcarona, very strong annoying Pokemon. But again, Clefable, pretty slow. Volcarona, well, depends, right? But mostly not that slow, but pretty strong. Then you have Bronzong and Porygon 2. And this is where I was like, damn, this guy just managed to pick a Trick Room team that,
Fucking Discord.
and he picked a Trick Room team with the Trick Room setters very late and still get through with it and has a very strong team. The power of his team is huge, and like Bronzong and P2 are two very, very good Trick Room setters. Especially P2 is insane, in my opinion. And
I
then
will say,
Bound is actually surprisingly useful for Trick Room.
And then you have Crodilly out there, which is just like these, I have 20 points left picks in my opinion, but
I
whatever.
think Cordelia gets Storm Drain if I'm not mistaken.
It
But
does.
I'm a little surprised with Ross's team because he was super busy this whole draft, so he just basically whispered his entire picks to me, not even leaving like backups or anything. That he only got sniped like once or twice, so I had to consult with him and be like, hey, what do you want? That was the list he whispered me from day one of the draft, and it remarkably held together.
Yeah,
I'm
but
a little surprised by that.
yeah, you have to
That's
see
surprising.
his team is also just strong. It's just a good trick room team. It's just a strong team. And I have nothing like the only thing I am worried about is can he set up the trick room reliably? Because I don't know John Ross as a player, and trick room is hard to pull off, especially
So much
when
more
the enemy knows that the trick room will be coming. So he will have to stand the test of time, and that's why he's only like at the merge of how strong is the team really, because it's hard to use. Like, for example, Phil's team is pretty straightforward to use in most cases. That's why it's way more up there. Pat's team. Pat has a pretty easy to use team for the most part. Like, most Pokemon are very straightforward, and that's why it's so strong. Um, but that's my top five, definitely. So, Wayne, do you want to give your top five, or are you gone again?
Let's see. My top five. I mean, or my top five might is a little different because of I got to go off some players I know. Like again, Pat and Phil are definitely my top five. We've covered them extensively. They've been in both of our top. They've been in everybody's top five.
Yeah, they are just very good players
They're
and very good
solid,
teams.
solid players. I'm expecting them to be in the finals again. I'll be surprised. But for number three is where I have to defer. I actually put
Isaac. All right. I didn't cover that team today, but I looked at it
now.
in general.
Now with Isaac, I'm not gonna lie. I am going off knowledge of him himself more than off of his team because I know like what he could do. It's like he could be a royal pain in the ass, and he's got some funny things, some things that. Let me see if I can go into a little more detail here. Like he's got some good bulk here with Rioniclus. That's how it's pronounced. He's got Sylveon, which is a pretty valuable cleric, a very good sweeper.
But you can Pat did a curse Sylveon set with me the other day, and just he then passed the curse from Sylveon on a white Talonflame. It was hilarious. No one expected it, and it worked. It's hilarious, man. It's hilarious.
That sounds terrifying. I'm not even gonna lie. Oh, he's got Nidoqueen, which is a bulkier Nidoking.
With less
Again,
damage though,
but
and
it's
less
got some
speed.
good damage. It's less damage, less speed. It's got some bulk to it. It can set up hazards.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
believe it gets rapid spin. I
No,
could be wrong.
I don't think the
No,
Nidos
it
get
doesn't.
spin, but it still
Yeah,
can
you ever got
remove
it.
the toxic spikes, so that's also good.
It can remove toxic spikes. It can set up hazards. Overall, it's just got some good use. It's a good utility mod. Then he's got things like fucking Jirachi, which is cancer.
Yeah. See,
Level 10
why
full
I don't
Iron
have his
Head.
team, why I don't have his team up there with the other team are actually more like the more bottom line picks. Because I would agree to this point, but Medicham as a tier 4 is like
Medicham
kinda
is a great tier 4.
it's decent, but there are definitely stronger tier 4 in my opinion. And then you have like Chinchino and Slacking, for example, which just that's are like two Pokemon I will never see someone pull off very strong. Like Chinchino has
Um,
definitely uses.
as for slacking, I've actually seen my brother abuse the fuck out of slacking on mono normal and wreck shit like I never would have expected. And
Yeah,
Chinchino, I've seen Isaac use pretty effectively.
maybe I'm wrong here, but because I don't know the player and I just go off the strength of the Pokemon. But these are two Pokemon
Well,
I
no, yeah,
definitely I would say are
I'm
on
not,
the
I'm,
very
I'm
weak
not
spectrum.
100% sold on his team, but I'm thinking if he plays like if he actually tries this season he'll do something. He'll do some really good shit.
All right, then who's your number 4?
As for number 4, let's take another look. I'm really not afraid. I'm really not threatened by anybody in my division. No offense to any of them. They all are solid. They do have solid teams. They're good. They're pretty good players. But if I'm not correct, I've consistently beaten them throughout the last 2 seasons. I could be wrong.
We got pretty close.
Alright, so yeah, there you go. See, okay, I gotta say Frank would be number 4. And never mind all the stuff we talked about before, but one of the biggest things that scares me is Raikou, because I always struggle with sub combined Raikou.
I actually like. Wait, let me take a look of your team. Do you have it? Now, but a fun thing you can do against sub Combine users, and I have told this to Pat the other day, and he thought about using it one time. It's like if you have like Porygon or something like that that learns Psych Up, you just can go straight through the substitute with the Psych Up, copy the stat boost, and be stronger than them. And that's especially strong with Porygon too, like and stuff like that. Just naturally are stronger than the the team than the Raikou itself. So what people did when I told them about that, they passed Porygon 2 around to every time the player that against the player that has Raikou, and so he always had to face Porygon 2 every week. That was actually hilarious, but also annoying as fuck for that guy, I bet.
I mean, I don't expect to see. I am not talk. Actually, yeah, I am kind of talking shit about y'all, aren't I? Anyways, I don't expect to see Combine Raikou that much. I expect to see more of the stall setup, but it's there and it's something that's always given me problems. So I have to go and add that into my reasoning for why he's before. As for number 5, I want to put him higher, but out of everything that everybody's got, plus I know more about Isaac than I do him, I'd have to put Levi at number 4, especially considering, like you said, he doesn't have a bulky fire type for the fire water grass. But he does have the Steel Fairy Dragon Core, which is going to be a pain because Zygarde, it can be a fucking monster. Mega Gardevoir is surprisingly fucking bulky and hits like a fucking truck. And Sizer's just solid, honestly.
Yeah, but my problem with Scissor in general is like, and with his team in general, what I am missing on his team, other than the bulky fire type, is his team is feels very straightforward. Other than Infernape, who can go like the physical and special and lead route, I do not see him use many different sets throughout the season, and that's
No,
what worries me.
that's what's gonna hurt him. Is he's gonna be end up locked into some predictable sets. Like, I mean, Zygarde's got like what? I think 2 or 3 sets that are commonly used.
Dragon Dance, Coil, and like a normal full out attacker.
Yeah, I think those are the 3 that are like commonly. Gardevoir Mega is just click Hyper Voice usually. If you're not against the Steel type or a Poison type, click Hyper Voice.
Yeah, Scissor is always
I mean,
Scissor is basically
because
always like either set up Bullet Punch or like bend Bullet Punch. Like it's the thing it
yeah,
does.
it's what they it's it. Like, I mean, those 3 are they're great. They're great monsters. They just don't have the versatility that others.
Yeah, but
And that's
Milotic
the
is also
problem.
just Milotic is very predictable as bulky border. Mandibuzz is just a bulky bird. Amoonguss is a bulky plant with spore. So that's the problem I have with his team. Like other than Infernape, but like you look at Infernape and you're like, I have no idea what Infernape even does. Like that's something that is always
Yeah,
scary. But
that's got me questioning something. Like, what is he going to do with it?
yeah, because like his team is very predictable otherwise, I think.
Yeah, and I have a feeling that aside from like Gardevoir, his team will definitely be major taunt based. Like if you get a fast taunter, you'll probably be able to lock out a lot of his stuff and force him to be swapping in on rocks and stuff, adding and shifting so you can get kills on things like Zagar. Unless he's going a straight out attack.
All right.
But
But
yeah,
definitely
yeah,
still a
so
strong team. I would agree. As it's not
oh
like
yeah,
when I say that's my problems with a team. Like I have problems with my own team, even though I drafted it. So it's not
my
like I
team's
would
never been
say
particularly
someone
great. So I mean,
I would never say someone has a shit team because I have a problem with one or two things, right? Because that's just how it is in draft leagues. You can't draft the
if
perfect team.
in all honesty, if I really had to pick the person who had the worst, just going off the mons they had, I would put it between, no offense, but me and Zoe. I got the good ones, but I have like 3 or 4 different themes going on at once. I got like half part sandstorm, part meme, part hyper offense. It's like I didn't know what I was doing, and I don't think I did. And the only reason why I say that about Zoe is I'm not a fan of, like you said, the double water type there with Napoleon. And I'm not a fan. I honestly do not like Blacephalon.
I love Blacephalon. That's actually one thing for me that keeps a team alive. I for
I
example
mean,
don't see Linon as a
like
tier 3 Pokemon.
a truck. He hits so fucking hard. It's ridiculous.
But have you ever
But
faced a mixed Blacephalon or my mixed Blacephalon to start off things?
I've never faced the mixed Blacephalon. No.
You will wonder your ass off when you first time meet it ever. Trust me. It's insane.
She's got great mons. Like Buzzwole can do great shit. Garchomp can do great shit. Rotom is actually a pretty solid
Bro,
choice in my opinion.
Garchomp is easily the best ground type with Zygarde since there's no Lando.
Oh yeah, Lando. I honestly, I don't actually necessarily agree with the Lando ban. Lando is annoying more because he has intimidate and pivot than
Bro,
anything else.
Lando is
Really.
annoying because it has everything. Like it has it. The problem with Lando is like it gets golf, setup sweeper, bulk,
Well, yeah, it's
lead,
got so many different
taunt
stats.
user. Like it can do everything.
It's
It's
not a,
the
and no, it ties to an ice. That's like its biggest. That's the thing. Like ice, almost every team carries ice beam.
Yeah, I mean, I killed Zapdos that was against me with like full special attack, full speed Zapdos running HPIs. First turn. It was hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, when a Pokemon's got such an obvious check, I don't find it as annoying. I mean, like that, like take Celesteela. Celesteela can Thunderbolts for days if it's built right, and that's like one of the only moves you can really use to take it down. Especially when it gets its leech, if it's the leech seed set, because that
I mean, it
I'm
has
sorry, that
less
thing's
defense than
fucking
special
annoying.
defense, so running physical
Well,
electric moves mate.
if you run like Thunder Punch or Flame Charge things like that, it's a lot easier to take down. But they're more easier to be certain of them happening too. When a mon typically carries like Fire Blast, or when a mon's carrying like Flame Charge or something along those lines.
Yeah.
Or like if you see Entei, it's got Sacred Fire. You're not gonna keep it out. Like things like Thunderbolt, you can goes on to serve.
All right. So we have heard 3 different top 5. We have had quite a
They're very
discussion about
similar, though.
some teams. And since it's like going towards 1 a.m. and I have to wake up at 7 a.m. and then have 10 hours of school, I gotta stop the recording here to get a little sleep at least.
How was that?
Um, yeah, thanks a lot to the people that joined me here on Discord.
No problem.
And I would
Discord,
like you guys still watching this, give your top 5 teams, either on Facebook or under this video. I will upload it to my YouTube channel tomorrow when I'm back home after school. And yeah, so uh,
which
just
we're in.
just leave it around. Leave around your top 5, and I hope you all have a great season. A nice, a fun season, and I will be back for the replay analysis or replay summary with Patrick, or the original cat, which I called the worst German because I'm the superior German, obviously, at the start of the video. Uh, and we will watch some replays and analyze them and see what could have been done better. And maybe someone else wants to join then. But for now, I'm out. See ya.